Right, we're going to try that again. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. Apologies, our software is completely bugged out and ended up actually going live on the wrong link and stuff like that, so we've had to quickly sort that out. We are finally live on the right link, I hope. Trying to get everything sorted. It's one of those days, isn't it? You know, in a day where it's going to be so busy and stuff like that. Of course, we had to have a couple of technical glitches just to really sort of kickstart proceedings and stuff like that. But yeah, so hopefully we'll all be sorted now. So if you're just joining now, please do start voting on the poll as to who you think is going to win the game and what you think is going to happen there. We've got the kickoff is in just under an hour, obviously between the Springboks versus South Africa, and then after that, Springboks versus South Africa, Springboks versus Scotland. After that, we're going to be having Ireland versus New Zealand, and then we're going to be having England versus Australia as well. So it's a pretty stacked day of rugby. I'll be with you guys for at least until the end of the Ireland-New Zealand game. Cal might be taking over for the England versus Australia game. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. We will be live for all three games regardless. We'll also be doing our player rating show, which takes place after the Springbok game. It will be a bit of a rush player rating show today, unfortunately, because obviously the games doesn't give us a lot of opportunity, or a long opportunity rather, to get those sort of all that stuff sorted. But we will be doing player ratings. And then if you do miss the player rating show, like this week, we'll be releasing a video tomorrow with all the player ratings as voted by you guys, the fans. So, yeah, jump in the comments. Let me see what you guys think of the game. What do you think of the lineup? How are we feeling about things? You know, are we confident? Do we think it's going to be a bit more of a challenge than some people are expecting? What are you guys' thoughts on how the Springboks are going to do in the next sort of hour? Do we have enough beers? That's the question. Do we have enough beers in stock for the game itself? You know, because it's a long day and we have to pace ourselves. We can't send it too early, or else we could fade off, you know. And it's a marathon. It's not a sprint at the end of the day, you know. I mean, we've got, you know, what, 7 hours basically ahead of us of, probably more than that, about 8 hours, you know, 7.5, 8 hours of rugby in action. And just, yeah, so we can't just send it too early. We can't just start polishing off the beers, you know, before we actually settle in. Otherwise, we're going to not last the day. But Mark Julie says hello from me and Fergus, the Scots Wildcat Tabby Hybrid. MC says, hi, Stephen, looking forward to this. Only question marks I have are Billy LaRue. God, he owes us a good game. Yeah, very much under pressure is Billy LaRue. An interesting selection to go immediately back to him. But yeah, so hopefully we'll see a better game from Billy. But obviously, early today, making up for the game. Yeah, look, so I mean, last weekend we had a bit of a mare in terms of game, stuff like that. A couple of people having lots of internet issues, stuff like that. So this weekend we're hoping to be a bit more on the ball. And we're going live a little bit earlier than we do usually, because we just want to make sure that everything's working and make sure that everything is in place for so we don't have any sort of hiccup, stuff like that. So it is a bit early, but we've got a couple of things. Obviously, we're going to be joined by Cal a little bit later, who is going to be we're going to be chatting a little bit about the matchups and stuff to look forward to over the next sort of day, well, the next hour. I'm a little bit everywhere at the moment, aren't I? But my TV is working, which is a good sign. The beers are getting cold, which is always a very good sign. Obviously, no beers for me. I'm on a diet. Oof, that's horrible. I should be, but until I can start running around, I know exactly what's going on with my knee and stuff like that. There's small pleasures. I need my beer in my life. But yes, so without any further ado, we're going to have a little bit look at the team itself and what to expect this weekend. So let's have a look at that, and then I'll join you guys in a few minutes now. And there it is. That is the action we have looking forward to us this afternoon. So much rugby, so many very interesting matchups ahead, and should be an absolute cracker of a day. Please start smashing the like on the video. Let's try and see if we can make this stream as big as possible. And this is just going to roll into the next one. So from here, I'm going to take you guys into the player rating show. From the player rating show, I'm going to take you guys into Ireland versus New Zealand. From Ireland versus New Zealand, I'm going to take you guys into England versus Australia. So get your data sorted, get your beer sorted, because let's just spend the day together. Let's have a romantic day of non-stop brutal rugby, and let's make sure that we have, hopefully, have a lot of fun. So, which game is really tickling your fancy? I'm quite upset that the Italy versus Argentina game is actually at the same time as us. I would really like to have watched that game. So, a little bit frustrating that we can't watch that. And then tomorrow you got France versus Georgia and Wales versus Fiji. At this stage, you won't be live for those games. Unfortunately, I'm working, so if anybody else can pick that up, then maybe we'll be able to do that. Would have been nice to have had the Fiji versus. I mean, why couldn't we have the French game tonight at 10? And just keep going. But yeah, please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new. As you can see, we are over 9,000 subscribers, so we are getting very, very close. We've pretty much got let's call it maybe 46 days left, 47, 48 days left of 2020. The question is, can you guys help me get up to 10,000 subscribers? It'll be absolutely unbelievable if we can do that. But if we can't, we'll get there next year. But it'll be really, really cool if we can go from having less than 1,000 subscribers in January to 10,000 subscribers by Christmas and New Year's. And we can just pop champagne on New Year's or something like that. But who's in the chat here? So Kevin says, hey Steve, expect tough battle war today against Scotland. Albie says, I think we need Billy because of Scotland's kicking game. It's very good. Kevin says, I'm afraid of Finn Russell are dangerous, but MC says one good hit from Damien or Lacanio and Russell will be flaky. Albie says Ireland game probably going to be good. I hope so. That's a nice Irish side. It's a very good All Black side as well. And I hope it's competitive. The last thing you want to do is just see the All Blacks steamroll over Ireland, which is what happened in the quarterfinal in the World Cup 2 years ago. So hopefully you'll see a bit more of a competitive game over there. Marcus says, well, I mean, come on, you got to make a day of it, So yeah. But already what's on the main? I'm trying to decide if it's time to pop a beer yet. Do we start with the beers now? I mean, it's 2:15. We've got another 44 minutes till kickoff. Is it beer o'clock yet, or does beer o'clock start at 3, or does beer o'clock start at 2:30? Where are we feeling about beer o'clock? Are the throats open yet? What's the chat? Also, if you'd like to become a member, you've got the link in the description over there. You can become a member and contribute towards the channel. We really do appreciate our members who help keep this channel alive. So if you'd like to become one of those members, there is the link over there. And apart from that, it's just going to be hopefully a really good day. Had a long week. I've had a long week. I don't know how you guys have. I don't know how your guys' week has been. Hopefully, it's been a bit more straightforward. But I've had quite a weird week. Hopefully, it'll be a nice weekend. That's what I'm banking on, and creating a lot of content on the side here. So if you guys haven't, you can go check out the DVP channel. I'm trying to creating a bit of stuff over there, and a very exciting project scheduled for December, which rhymes with golf tour. Because it is a golf tour, which is going to be a lot of fun to film, and we're going off to the Kruger, and it's going to be some pretty stunning footage. So really, really excited for the end of the year to share that with you guys. But until then, we've just got so much rugby. Until we obviously got the next weekend is the last weekend of the Autumn Nation series, and after that, we are back into the URC and hopefully home games. And I'm sitting there waiting. I see that there are tickets available for the Stormers game. I haven't heard anything about the Lions and the Bulls, because those are obviously the games where I can try and get to and take you guys to and sort of see what watching rugby is like in the COVID world. It'll just be so. I mean, lots of people complaining about that Champions Cup not being able to buy a beer and stuff like that. It's not ideal, but I really think it's. I mean, just for me to be able to get into a stadium, even if I have to wear a mask and not to be able to drink a beer for 80 minutes, I can get over that. Get me back into that stadium. Let me unleash me back onto my rugby in person. So. But yeah, that's all. It's all for after the Autumn Nation series. So obviously, it's always beer o'clock. Decent shout. Heinz is 6 a.m. Candy coffee time. Beer by the 4th game. My odds are high for win Irish. Got to have lunch before beer. Well, see, the problem is I kind of have. Well, I haven't eaten much today. I've had a couple of biscuits. So I don't know if I classify that as lunch. But you know what? Now you know what? I'm gonna wait till Carl gets on here, because he's an English fan, and I'm gonna cheers to us hopefully beating England next week, and start stirring the pot a little bit. You know, sort of create a little bit of a rivalry on the show. But busy watching the last time we played against Scotland, which we won 26 points to 20. Back in 2018. I think the Hamish Washington scored quite a good try. I remember, here comes the line-out try. It was very, very well worked there. Gregor Townsend's sides are very fun to watch. They are a lot of fun to watch. He's a very, very astute coach. They like to try things. Scotland are very, it's one of those things. There's a side that you're not invested in, or they're not playing against the side that you're invested in, rather. It's a great side to watch. They play some very enterprising rugby. They like to change things up. They like to use different moves with the set piece. They're very innovative. So, and when you've got players like, a Finn Russell and Stuart Hogg, who are very creative players, it just makes for so much better watching. So, hopefully, we'll get a fantastic game out of today. And I think it'll be a very different test to what the Springboks have had so far this year. I think that probably a little bit more in the mold of what we kind of saw with Australia in terms of playing a side which sort of ups the tempo a little bit more. I thought we did very well to nullify New Zealand when we played against New Zealand. The British and Irish Lions didn't really try to attack us, and Argentina couldn't really cope with much of what the Springboks were threw at them. And then obviously Wales, we know, are characteristically quite a similar side to the Springboks in terms of the way they set things up, and very defense-driven and stuff like that. So I think Scotland present a very, very unique challenge and a very different challenge to what the Springboks have faced so far. And I think that in itself is quite exciting because, as a side, you want to be tested across the park. It's not just can we be more physical. It's when the chips are down, when you start sort of being sort of attacked and stuff like that. Can you cope with that? Can you sort of adapt your game plan to be able to cope with that? Or do you even have to adapt your game plan? Are you capable of using the exact same game plan and just being able to use it so effectively that it doesn't really matter who you play against? It's enough. And I think that's kind of where we've become with our game plan. Is it's just a case of we know how we're going to play. The question is, can you stop it? And for most of it, the answer is kind of a no. So that's what's made it so interesting so far. But today I think it'll be interesting, and I just hope we get nice conditions. I think it sounds like it's going to be quite cool. Quite cold. It's about 12, 13 degrees, but it's supposed to be very dry. I don't think the wind's too bad either. So it's conditions which lend itself to some exciting rugby. Let's hope that the conditions hold and that we do get a bit of exciting rugby. And look at the selections today. Alton Yankee starting is a very interesting selection, as well as Willie Louis coming back. I think it was pretty expected. I wasn't surprised by that selection at all. As soon as I thought that Damien Willemse had a concussion, was not going to be available for this weekend, I thought it was pretty inevitable that they were going to go back to Willie Leroux. I don't think they see Apelele Fassi as a fullback just yet. I think they see him as a left wing. And whether you agree with it or not, that's kind of the situation. So I don't think Apelele Fassi was ever in line to really start against, at fullback at least. Maybe at left wing if things were going a little bit sort of better and stuff like that. But I don't think he was ever going to start at fullback. But his time will come though. I'm not overly worried about Apelele Fassi. I know a lot of people are. But I do genuinely think his time will come. I think he's too talented not to get his opportunity. And once he starts getting an opportunity, a little bit like David McKenzie, I think he'll take it quite well and move on. If you guys are looking on how to watch the game, check the description of the video. We've got the whole sort of shebang on how you can use ExpressVPN and watch on Amazon Prime. You can sign up for a free trial on Amazon Prime, and then you can watch the game for free using ExpressVPN, which is not free, but it is very, very useful to have. You can watch a lot of rugby on Amazon Prime, actually, through that. But, so Kevin says, hopefully Francois Steyn comes on perhaps later on in the game. He will come on the game. That's pretty much guaranteed. Mark Jenny says, women's rugby would be romantic. We the South, says Dwayne. Hello, Memeni. I hope you're well. Let's get some score predictions in, eh? Should we start with a couple of early score? In fact, let's try and get some score predictions for the other games. We'll sort of build up towards the Springbok game after we've had a chat with Carl. But so what are your score predictions for? Let's start with Ireland versus New Zealand. What are your score predictions for Ireland versus New Zealand? And we'll sort of go away from that. And just want to see what everybody's got to say that. Also, very interesting. That's a very nice team. You know, I think I look at that Irish side and I really like it. I think it's in the combination of Ringrose and Mundy. Aki are very good. Johnny Sexton, when he plays well, is a mastermind. And I just hope we kind of see the Ireland of old. We've seen glimpses of it this year, but Ireland just haven't quite been as consistent as they would probably like to be. So hopefully we can see an improvement there. And then obviously got England versus Australia, which is quite a big rivalry. Eddie Jones has got a very, and it's raining. That's interesting. Eddie Jones got a very good record against Australia. I don't think he's ever lost to them, actually. So he's obviously got a very good record against Australia, which would be quite interesting. Ireland, if you look at the last 4 games between Ireland and New Zealand, I mean, if you look before that, it's all New Zealand. But the last 4 games are literally 2 wins apiece. So recent form does probably make that Irish game a little bit more exciting than what it maybe will be. In Dublin, the last 2 games in Dublin, they've won one and lost one. So it should be quite a cool game. But I have somebody waiting in the wings whilst I adjust my headphones. What's going on here? Who is over there in the nice and warm United Kingdom at the moment? Let me sort myself out. And yeah, so we're gonna have a little bit of chat here. We've got about 35 minutes till kickoff, so we've still got plenty of time. And Carl, how are we doing?
I disagree with the warm part of your statement, but I'm all right.
Look, you know what? You left this place. You know, these are the things that you have to sort of adapt to. You know, unfortunately, you don't get to have your 40-degree days and stuff like that over December. So
I mean, it's been a long time since I was in South Africa for living there. So
you've adapted yet?
No.
That's the one thing. A lot of people sort of say, "Oh no, but you'll get used to the cold." And I said, "No, I think I can go overseas and live there for 40 years. I still wouldn't be happy in the cold. I just don't do it."
Well, I moved to South Africa when I was 10, so I wasn't exactly used to I was kind of used to the cold weather back then, but I never got used to the heat in South Africa. So going back and forwards, just I can't stand either the cold or the heat now. So it has to be around 20.
Basically, it's just just an emotional rate most of the time.
You didn't have to come for me like that, but yeah.
Can you talk us through the shirt? I feel like we need a bit more context than just the top of it.
So believe it or not, this is the rugby club I played for in France. Literally, the town is called Condom.
Oh, there we have it. Oh, there we go. But trivia. I'm glad you had a bit of perspective and moved it down, because I was just seeing the tour and all you just see is Condom. I was like, well, yeah. I mean, fair enough. If you're bracing for Australia later, then I suppose better be safe than sorry. But
it's weird actually. I've got so many rugby jerseys, and the only one I don't have at the moment isn't actually is an England jersey, and it's really annoying.
I mean, I think that's pretty good. I think it's quite a good thing, actually. I want to get a Scottish jersey. I used to have one of those traditional ones, like the woolly ones, but it was a bit too small now. So I need to get myself a new one of those.
Too many beers.
Yeah, no, it is that, but it's also. I mean, I wanted to get one of the South Africa. We've also got the traditional one for the Springbok, but it was almost 2,000 rand. I'm seeing the guys, chaps. It's a cotton shirt. There's no need to be taking it. But anyway, enough about the rip-offs that are sports jerseys at the moment. So we've got a couple of score predictions coming in for a couple of the games today. We'll start with this game. What do you, in terms of I suppose the way the game's going? Because I was having a laugh at looking at my previous watch-along and stuff like that, and the fact that it's just always been so sort of it's most games. I think if you take away the 2 Argentina games and the Georgia game, I suppose, to send to you, it's always been so the box have left so late, and the scrum has had to be so. I mean, the scrum and the bench has had to be so important. How important do you think it is for the first sort of 40 minutes? Do you kind of feel that if Scotland have a chance, do you think they need to go out early and start building up a lead, or do you think they just need to stay with the box and try to keep a lead? Because the box do chase down, or seemingly seem to be able to chase down scores quite effectively.
I don't know. It depends. I mean, if Scotland can get on the board early, even if that happens, and I still don't see them winning. I don't see Scotland actually scoring many tries in this game. So It depends, actually. I think it comes down to how disciplined South Africa are, to be honest.
Yeah, look, discipline has been an uncharacteristically big problem for South Africa, and not so much discipline in terms of like yellow cards stuff that, or we have had more than usual, but just like the very silly penalties. You know, that you think about the idea of the controllables, and the far too many offside penalties, far too many basic errors that are being made. And unfortunately, I think that's probably feeding a lot into the this whole referee rhetoric stuff like that, which I personally am quite over. I think it's just getting a bit pointless now to continue talking about the same thing. But do you think there's any sort of specific reason that the South Africa discipline, which especially like during the World Cup was pretty flawless? Do you think there's any sort of reason that it's starting to get a bit worse?
I suppose probably because of the game plan South Africa is playing at the moment, relying heavily on defense. If they then play a team which manages to keep the ball away from South Africa, they will get frustrated and they will try and go for those turnovers that just kind of are slightly beyond reach. It doesn't seem to be hurting them that much, except maybe against Australia.
But I think Australia, I think it was only the one game. I mean, the other game we were just outplayed. It wasn't even a discipline issue. We just weren't good enough.
I honestly, in this game, I think Scotland has maybe 3 places where they could take the game to South Africa. I think purely because Willie Leroux is absolute shite at the moment. Stuart Hogg could have a field day with him. I think Creel's been kept on the wing to try and deal with size-wise with Van der Merwe, even though I don't rate him at all. I think he's very average. But I think, to be honest, I think the 9-10 pairing for both sides is going to be the big part of the game where it'll be win or lose. Because Ali Price is good, Finn Russell obviously is amazing. I love Herschel Yankees, but it'll be a big test for Elton, and I think if he steps up, it'll be good for South Africa because hopefully they'll stop thinking, oh, Pollard's our literal only fly half.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. As someone was saying that, I think it's probably the first time, in a sort of 4 or 5 years where I think Elton Yankees has actually got a genuine opportunity to sit there saying, I can actually make a claim for the number 1 spot here. If Pollard's not playing well, and I think if he puts in a big game, look, South Africa. So I think Elton Yankees can get out of the match today, and they probably still revert back to Pollard for England. Just in terms of the way that we want to play. But it would be interesting. I think this is probably the most vulnerable Pollard has been for a potential starting spot. But the halfback combination is interesting because you've got Ali Price and Finn Russell. I mean, 2 British and Irish lions, settled, untouchable. No one's going to go near them in terms of no one's benching them. They've got their spot sorted. And on the other end, Herschel Yankees, who started like a house on fire and hasn't quite sort of managed to kick on, I think probably to his own self-admission as much as he would like to. Struggled a little bit last weekend, and then obviously Elton Yankees, who's always had a lot to prove. So it's interesting that we've got 2 players who are very settled in their positions versus 2 players who are going to walk out today definitely wanting to prove a point.
Yeah.
And all 4 of them very exciting in their own right. And I think game management is going to be very interesting.
I have a feeling that I don't know if he got injured in the game last weekend against Australia or not, but I have a feeling that Scotland are going to miss Darcy Graham. Like, he's a very good player. I mean, McLean's no slouch either. He's very good as well. But I would have preferred Darcy Graham on the wing. But
any other selections in benching Hamish Watson? Quite an interesting call.
To be honest, I mean, Richie is amazing. Ferguson is very good. Hanning, I don't really know, to be honest. But Hamish Watson is a very good impact player. I mean, he did it very well for the Lions. So it's not a bad shout. I love the fact that they've got about 4 South Africans playing for them.
Yeah, I know. It could have been more. It could have been more. There's still Carsten in the squad. There's still Dinovic in the squad. I don't know if Epia Nell's in the squad, but he's often in and around there. Jakob van der Walt, if he starts playing well, could be back in. But
you got Ollie Kebble on the bench.
I mean, it's quite interesting. You got all the teammates. I mean, Trevor Nyakane and Pierre Schoeman were teammates at the Bulls, and now they're showing up against each other. You've got Duran van der Merwe, Jesse Creel at Bulls at the same time. Ollie Cable and Stephen Kitsoff were at the Stormers at the same time. So quite sort of nice small little personal battles in there, which I always love a bit of a side story. It's nice to have a big game, but then to have those small little, and obviously a lot of pride on the line today. You know, as a PS Schoolman, you're going to be sitting there thinking, I need to try and front up against this pack to prove that. I suppose, you know, the one thing with any sort of player that goes overseas and they represents their country, regardless of the reasoning behind it, it's a case. It almost sort of feels that they need to prove that they didn't take the easy way out. You know, I mean, Dylan van der Merwe needs to prove that he didn't just decide to go overseas and play for Scotland because it was easier than playing for the Springboks. That it is a genuine. You know, he would be good enough for either. Yeah, but he's you know, if you sit him down, you're not going to sit there and say, Dylan, you took the easy way out. And he's going to be like, yeah, no, listen, I was never going to be good enough, so I thought I'd come play for the shitty Scotland. You know, you can't say that. So there's going to be a certain amount of I need to make sure that I make a statement today.
Yeah, I think with Duan van der Merwe, there was enough steroids floating around the Springbok camp, so he was like, let me not get involved in that as well, because I'll just make it worse.
Look, I mean, have you seen him without a shirt? I mean, have you seen that photo of him when he's like 18?
I'm just like, yeah.
He was ginormous.
His literal biceps are the size of my quads.
Yeah, no. Look, I mean, it's. You know, the funny thing is, you look at rugby players and you look at them on the field, and a lot of them they look big and stuff like that, but they're all relatively in perspective. And then you like walk past them and stuff like that, and you just realize, like, I mean, I'm not a small person; I'm pretty tall, but you know, like a little Jago walks past me, I'm like, that looks massive. Like literally, like I'm not messing with him.
I remember,
you know, even like your Malcolm Marxes, you know, who are like just a sort of standard hooker, and he sort of sits at very much the same height as me, but twice as wide.
He's a fridge. He's
just so good at the moment. I mean, I was thinking about sort of the best players in the Springbok jersey this year, and a lot of people talking about the Kanya, a lot of people talking about Siya Kolisi. I think Malcolm Marx, obviously the two locks, it's better than thing, but I think Malcolm Marx, even though he's coming off the bench a lot, I can't actually remember him having a bad game this year.
Well, the thing is, he's too good off the bench to start him.
Well, that's the thing. And they were saying, you know, they pretty much, I mean, he plays like 39 or 38 minutes and Bongi will play 40, 42 minutes. So, you know, for those 5 minutes, does it really make that much a difference if you do make sure you've got somebody like him finishing? I don't see the issue. A lot of people do. I think people still haven't quite understood that in the last 3-4 years, rugby has become a 23-man game, and that your bench is as important and sometimes even more important than your starting 15. And that does not mean if you're starting, that person is immediately better than the person on the bench.
Yeah, I'm interested in to see how Scotland use Blair Kinghorn today, because he's you know, kind of untested against the proper tier 1 nations, but he's got some serious talent. I just don't know if they'll play him at 10 or 15.
No, I suppose. I'm interested. I wonder how much it comes down to he's just having a good game on the day. You know, I wonder if they've got an actual a plan. Like right now, are they thinking right, we're gonna move him there, or is it very much a flip? We'll have to just see if Finn Russell's struggling or if Sherdhog struggling, we then make the call there. Similar in the Springboks, you know, I mean, if Alton Jantjies is having a sensational game, do you take him off for Pollard, or do you put a Pollard on for Damien Delindi and go and put him at outside centre, which is the combination so many people have been calling for, but Damien Delindi is playing too well to warrant trying it, because he's just, you know, why would you drop him?
I think at this point, if Jantjies is having a good game, it's a really bad idea to take him off. Like, he needs the game time, and if he's playing well, don't take him off. Like, just don't. That would not make sense.
Yeah, I mean, we know Kobus Reynolds coming on in the sort of the 50th minute odd. That's pretty inevitable. Same as the bench and stuff like that.
I think they should actually try.
I think will be interesting.
Off the field. They should keep.
Well, I'm interested to sort of see, and yeah, if, you know, I mean, we have done it once. Dave Williams didn't go into the field once this year, so it wouldn't be the first person not to be used. But I will be interested to see where they use them. But I mean, other options are things like putting Frans Steyn on at fullback, moving Willie Leroux to the wing, and moving Jesse Kriel to outside centre if you want to give Lekanya a break. So I suppose there's a certain amount of versatility in the current today's 23, in that you've got a Pollard who can play at 10-12, Frans Steyn who can play at inside centre at fullback, Willie Leroux can play fullback on the wing, Lekanya can move to the wing as well. So you definitely could. I mean, what we saw with injuries, you definitely could also see like Pollard at 12. Delendi at 13 and Kanya I'm back on the wing. So it'll be interesting to see how we
Or
move
just
everybody
chuck the
around.
fastest player on the wing. Just chuck Reinach on the wing. Let's be honest, he'll still beat everyone for pace.
No, we know, we always hear the story about his dad being a sprinter and stuff like that every single time he does score a try.
He is
But he is just unbelievably quick.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to open a beer because I was going to wait till half past thing. So I feel like it's beer o'clock for me. You still got gym later.
I'm going to be heading to gym.
Yeah, fit people like you can do that crap. I'm going to sit here and consume hops. So to the non-gym goers, cheers to you. To the gym goers,
okay. That's acceptable.
Yeah, I'm on whatever's in the fridge. So, but you can't look. It's a decent beer and it's just unbelievably cheap. So I'll take it.
No, I like Lion. I don't particularly like Castle. I'm okay with Castle Light. Purely
Castle
because
puts a bit of hair in your chest.
Castle Light's good because you can, you can drink as much of it as you want and you're not going to get chubby. Because there's no carbs in it whatsoever.
If that's a challenge, I'll take it. But
all right,
look, I mean,
and you have to drink a whole 6-pack in like the first half an hour.
I mean, if I have to, oh no!
Oh damn!
But what was I say? Yeah, flipping at one stage they had a special where flipping lion court was going for 10 rand. You're thinking, chaps, this is childish. You can't be like buying 4 liters of beer for like 30 rand and expecting people to rock up to work on Monday.
Problem in this country.
Yeah, no,
it's cheaper than water.
Well, dude, it was at one stage it was cheap. It was cheaper than Coke. It was cheaper to go buy a quart of beer than to go buy 1.5 liter of Coke. And you're sitting there saying, "Look, I don't want to make the responsible decision, but you're forcing my hand here." Dear. Right, well, I'm gonna let you go to gym. We're gonna go through we're gonna go through the line of stuff like that, and then we're gonna get our score predictions, people, and we're gonna build up. We got 20 minutes in, so enjoy the game. Enjoy the gym.
18-15.
18-15. Well, there we go. Carl's locked his prediction in. You can start getting yours in. But yeah, before then, let's have a look at exactly who's going to be on the park today for the Springboks and what some of the sort of stats they're looking at is. I think that's gonna have to be my ringtone waking up. That like, I mean, it's just literally it's like no copyright music, but it's such a vibe. Anyway, people, we are 16 minutes away from kickoff. It's almost finally time to get going. So it's time to start getting your score predictions in. Time to start putting the cock on the block and let me know what you reckon. We might even revisit these towards the end of the show and see who was closest. Maybe we start a little bit of a Super Bowl poll and start giving away some prizes and stuff like that. So if anyone wants to sponsor the prize, then yeah, we can start doing that. But get the beers open. We've got 15 minutes. The box are probably nice and warm at the moment. Stopped raining over here, so life is good. Life is good. The subscribers are climbing. We want to try and see if we can get to 9,000. What do you reckon is a decent target, chat, people? What is the target for today? Where do you reckon we can get subscribers wise? Obviously, on the road, 10,000 subscribers, which is quite cool. But yeah, let's see what the people on the chat. We had Carl on earlier who reckons that South Africa should be fine, but I suppose we'll see. So Mimini says he's got himself some black labels there. Carson's in short supply. Fair enough. Is feeding. I'm assuming feeding him cheese flavored dreamies at the time. I'm assuming you're talking about the cat, a little selection cat there. Obviously, that's why holidays in SA is so good. Cheap alcohol. Nah, look, I mean, you have to have a couple of benefits for living here. Really appreciate Kwasi. Critical Records Black Label better than Lion. I mean, I'm not too discerning when it comes to beer, to be honest. I wouldn't say I'm much of a beer connoisseur. I'm more of a see beer, drink beer type of player. Like Quinton de Kock, see ball, hit ball. Yeah, I'm a see beer, drink beer type of person. You don't go complicate things. Of course, I'm liking to set up the channel. Watch Grover. Thank you very much. One day, France and Dwayne will make it to the next World Cup. I think at this stage, they reckon that they will. Apparently Dwayne's planning on retiring from international rugby in 2023. Matt Dixon says 26-15 to the box. Dakota says it's to win by 16. Thank you very much, Kevin. Appreciate that. Mark Giannini is going 20-45 to the Bokker. So a nice big scoreline there. Well, let's hope so. It'll be a nice game to watch. Sunny and dry here in Scotland. Love to hear it. Well, there we go. Got on the ground reporting from Cam Mack, who says it's nice and sunny and dry. Clint Lawrence is going 23-18 to the box. Scotland has an amazing defense. It won't be easy, but we'll get the job done, says Crossy. And Albie says literally the beer is less than half the price in SA than where I live. You know what? It's a couple of things that SA can't do, like keep the lights on. But beer wise, we're pretty good, and we make decent beer as well. But Rand says Scotland will threaten us in the end. It won't be easy. I definitely don't think it will be easy. And I think, people who are writing off Scotland are people who probably haven't watched enough of Scotland recently to understand that they're a very good side. This is not going to be an easy game by any means. In fact, I reckon this could in any ways be a much tougher game than Wales was. I think Scotland were a couple of bounces of the ball away from actually winning the Six Nations. If having watched the Six Nations, they came very close to getting some very important results. And had a couple of results gone the other way, I think they could have definitely actually won the title. Lungi Peter's into the single malts. Timmy says it's a little bit windy in SA. Kevin says sorry to bring up next Man United coach TV. I want Zidane or Ten Hag. Fortunately, I think it's gonna be a while before we even get a new coach. So yeah, I'm taking my sabbatical from United. We'll worry about that when we finish after the international break. But yeah, 12 minutes to go. So keep getting the score predictions in. I just hope it's a good game. I just really, really hope it's a good game. I think we've got so many good players on today, and I really think we can find the opportunities to really go and actually have a go today. So I'm hoping that we can do that. I hope we can get that all sorted. If not, well, what can you do? And which players are you looking forward to watching today? I think the people who are, I think, due a big game and under quite a lot of pressure. Alton Yankees, Villaroo, and Hershey Yankees will, I think, will probably be the ones, and Jesse Creel, I think, are probably the four names that you need to put out good showings today. I think that obviously Jesse Creel struggled a little bit last weekend. I thought Hershey Yankees struggled last weekend. I think that Alton Yankees has been playing well enough to get into the starting. I think he's played his way into the starting lineup with a couple of cameos off the bench. So But as a fly half, you're obviously always in the firing line. So interesting to sort of see how he copes with it today. Albie reckons box 32, Scott 16. Caller says any beer is good beer, but Amstel is great beer. Amstel, I do live in Amstel. I'll have an Amstel every now and again. Mark Junior says drinking good beer in the dark. Well, you know what? I'd rather drink good beer in the dark than drink no beer in the light. So Clint Lawrence says single malts. Maybe the Flowers are allowed to win this one for their gift to us. Fair enough. Johannes is on the Amstel train. Timothy, looking forward to watching a Pimpy. Cam says, us Scottish fans think this is the best team in 20 years. I'd still say SA are favourites. Colby's not playing today, so yeah, if you're looking forward to watching him, you're going to be looking forward to watching him for quite a few months. In fact, I think the next time you'll be able to play is June, in the next sort of international period. Kevin's backing Alton for a great game. I hope so. I really do hope so. Michael says boxers need to keep it simple, use our power, and don't kick the ball away. Look, we won the game last week through. We almost scored a very good try last week through kicking. So, but again, it's always about finding the balance. When do you kick? When don't you kick? And if you can get that balance right, it can be a very, very effective attacking option, especially with a set piece like the Springboks do have. But as I said, it's all about finding the balance and finding out when to kick and when not to kick. But yabba. There it is, Murrayfield, a bucket list stadium for me. I would love to just go. I mean, I'm thinking about this sort of tour now. Imagine just spending a month and going to watch. Here comes Franklin Austin, JC Creel, 50 caps up for them. Congratulations, chaps. There we go. Let me just switch my TV on over here. Good to see those two getting up to 50 cats. And I think it's interesting that so many people are sort of worried about JC Creel in terms of his form. I'll just fix my TV. And yet today he's, for somebody who's sort of fallen out of the team a little bit, playing his 50th cap today. I'm back. Right, is Fairplay? No, as long as our guys stay on our side. Agreed. Let me just make sure our subscriber count's there. There we go. I do think it's a very good Scottish side, though. I do think I said in the beginning, it's the best Scottish side I've watched since I've been alive. For as long as I've watched rugby, I think this is definitely the best Scottish side I've seen. And an exciting Scottish side, and a lot of very, very nice players to watch. But yeah, we're just waiting for the anthems, and then we'll be underway. So it's your last chance to sort of get into. But I was saying, I'd love to go on like a month tour and go watch like Millennium Stadium, Twickenham, Murrayfield, the Aviva. Love to get across, watch Stade de France, watch a game in Italy. I think it'd be so cool to see what it's like. So in terms of bucket list things for the channel, maybe 5-6 years down this line, we can have Forever Sports on tour, which would be really, really cool if you could. But Kevin says my favorite stadium's got an awesome one based alongside Wales Stadium. Yeah, look, the Millennium is also a special place to go and watch rugby. The beer's going down well. We're in for a long day. Should be a fun day though, so I'm excited. Dun, dun, dun. Da, 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 da.
New Zealand in the final round of the Rugby Championship, and again against Wales in Cardiff a week ago. Their victory by 23 points to 18. Tomorrow is Remembrance Sunday. The UK will observe a minute of silence.
A minute of silence here for Remembrance Day in the UK. You'll see all the Premier League sides will have their poppies and stuff like that over the next couple of weeks. And the bagpipes echo around Murrayfield. Da, 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 da. Right, shall we go? National anthems, and then we will have kickoff. 5 minutes to go officially until kickoff. So your last opportunity to get your score predictions in. Let me know what your matchups and stuff like that are. And I hope you guys are ready. I hope the beers are cold. Sounds like we've got some Amstels flying around. Sounds like we've got some Black Labels flying around. Anybody with me on the line train? Where we at? And how we feeling? Obviously, the problem with watching games in Europe is that it's winter up here and that cold. That's not really... it's really not a good-looking stadium at all. No, look, Murrayfield never been the prettiest of stadiums. But I think it's pretty iconic. Ferguson's so excited, can't wait. SA versus SA. Hey, love the bagpipes. Yeah, look, bagpipes played well, are a good vibe. There it is, Alton Yankees. Come on, big game from him. Needed today. Just making sure my clock and everything's all ready to go. Once again, if you're looking for how to watch the game, you can check out the description. We've got pretty much a step-by-step guide there. Sign up for Amazon Prime, use your free trial. You can use a South African credit card. You don't have to worry about any of that. You sign up for that, and then you use ExpressVPN. You connect to a UK server. There's the link in the description. You visit that, and we'll have this game live. So it's a pretty easy way to go and watch the game. Well, there is. That anthem is done. As always, plenty of emotion for across the side. Coaching staff settling into the box. It's good to see Rusty Russ is back and then around the box and back to a full contingent in that coaching staff. Scotland. Very cool anthem, this. As I said, I think I'd just like to go and tour just so I can just sit and hear Flower of Scotland in person in amongst 80,000 just crazy Scots. Yeah, we're gonna have to do it. I reckon 2024 we need to target an end of year tour. I'd like to go for the World Cup, but so I mean, if anybody's got like 100,000 rand lying around, those are what the packages are being advertised for, which is a little bit too much. Need a couple more super chats before that's going to happen, but. Claus, how are you? Prediction for the game? Well, I'm going to go for the box. I'm going to go box by 5. It's what I've been saying all week. I do think it'll be quite a close game, so I'm going to stick with that. I still think we'll be boxed by about 5. in terms of this team for today, here is the Scottish team that is lining up today is as follows. So the South African born Pierce Schoeman is next to Stuart McInally, next to Xander Ferguson. Then you've got Sam Skinner and Grant Gilchrist in the second row. The loose trio, Nick Haining, captain Jamie Ritchie and Matt Ferguson, or vice captain, sorry, Jamie Ritchie and Matt Ferguson. Your halfback combination is Finn Russell, who is co-vice captain, as well as Addy Price, the British and Irish Lions duo, as well as Johan van der Merwe, who's also the British Irish Lions there. Then you've got Matt Scott, Chris Harris, Rufus McLean, and Stuart Hogg, the captain for Scotland. On the bench for the Scots, Xander Ferguson, Xander Ferguson starting. Ewan Ashman, Jamie Batty, Ollie Cable, Jamie Hodgson, Hamish Watson, George Horn, Adam Hastings, and Blair Kinghorn. Then for South Africa, we've got Oxen Chair, Bongi Mbonambi, Trevor Nyakane, Ebe Netzebeth, Franco Mostert, Sia Khaleesi, the captain, Kwagga Smith, Dwayne Vermeulen, Herschel Yankees partnering Elton Yankees, Marcus Ulmer, Pimpy, Jesse Creel, Billy LaRue, the back three. The center combination today is the ever-present Damien Dealendi and Lakanyo. Off the bench for the Boks, the bomb squad, even though it is a 5-3 split, but very much players you can look on to bring on an impact are Stephen Kitsoff, Malcolm Marks, Vincent Koch, Lut Jager, Jasper Wiese, Kobus Reinach, Andre Pollard, and Frans Steyn. We're going to have some members of the military, I think, are going to abseil down the stadium. This is new.
And that is not to the faint-hearted. Some of the local servicemen arriving in style at Murrayfield, and alongside me in commentary for what should be an epic encounter for Springbok governor Yanni Shimaki.
That's something new. So we've just had two servicemen who have just abseiled down. So something a bit different. Go for the World Cup. Yeah, look, I would. I'd love to, but yeah, as I said, this is a little bit expensive. Quite, I think Welsh fans are more passionate. Well, I mean, that's the thing. We could do like a rating after every game. We can go passion, atmosphere, conditions, etc. Sending them homeward to think again. Marginally, Box 21 Scotland 15 says Kwasi. I'm hating all these close games. My nerves can't deal. Karina Tahoy came watch the game. Yeah, it was only for commentary. This is commentary, but check out the description. It shows you how you can watch the game. So sign up for Amazon Prime. You can get a free trial for 30 days to cover this. And then use ExpressVPN. Again, link in the description. Connect to a UK server. And then we've got the link to the Alternation series in the description as well. And that'll take you here and you can watch the game over there. So hopefully that'll work for you. It's worked for a lot of people last week. But yeah, so just a little bit of sort of pre-match formalities, the ball being delivered. And then we will have kickoff. So last time, please do start smashing the like. Let's get the subscribes up as well. So keep smashing that subscribe button. Almost up to 9,100. So that'll be a nice little mark for the end of the first half. As the ball gets delivered to Stuart Hogg, the Scots will be playing left to right and will be having kickoff. So the Boks will be receiving kickoff, which is something we haven't done particularly well recently. Brandon says, Scotland weather report, mostly sunny 12 degrees. It does look like brilliant, brilliant conditions. So let's hope that we're in for a great game.
The last time they met at this stadium, on the 17th of November 2018.
It's been 3 years. On the wrong pipe. It's been 3 years since these sides last met. A couple of quite a few changes in the Scottish side since then. The Boks, not as many, I don't think. It's probably in the last couple of years, but Dwayne Vermeulen has got the South African record for the most starts at number 8, and I think Stuart Hogg today becomes the most capped fullback of all time, or something along those lines. And then the man in the middle, Angus Gardner, very, very controversial selection. But I do think that we make a promise now. Let's try our best to just not even mention the referee. Let's just try and enjoy the game. And if Angus Gardner has a bad game, he has a bad game. But let's not become those fans who every single time things don't go our way, we just go straight to the referee. We'll deal with that later. Right, here we go. Almost time for kickoff. The whistle goes. Stuart Hogg takes a couple of steps and he launches the ball pretty deep towards the right. And it'll be an early touch for Billy LaRue, who does not find. Actually, I'm trying to see the camera angle there was horrendous. He has found touch. I'm not quite sure where. It looks outside the 22 from what I saw, but so it's just outside. They go short to Scotland, going nice and quickly, trying to up the tempo. First touch for Finn Russell, gives it to Chris Harris. Oh, sorry, it's not Chris Harris. It's Ferguson there carrying it up. Finn Russell, he's knocked the ball on there from the tackle of Kwaka Smith. So there we go. Well, we had to wait how long for the first scrum? We're going to have our first scrum immediately. That's nice, man. Kwaka Smith up quite quickly on Finn Russell, who saw the rush defense from the box, thought about going himself, and Kwaka Smith was out there to force a mistake. You can see a big celebration from Bongi Manambi. He's keen to get going. He's keen to have a scrum. He's keen to see what we can do early on against the Scots. Well, it's nice for the box because last weekend, we, especially the starting front row, they just didn't have a chance. Now, the Scots are about 20 kgs heavier, but we all know that weight versus technique is we all know who wins there. So let's see what we can do today. And immediately a penalty for the box. I mean, the scrum, I said it in my 5 things learned. The best scrum in the world. And you can try and app me. Come on, whose scrum is better? First scrum, immediately a penalty. And Alton Yankees is going to try and find touch, which he does. Not the best touch finder. I mean, it's just inside the 20. I mean, the halfway, so that's perfect. That's exactly what we want. And immediately we're on inside Scottish territory. And you can see a nice big scrum. It's up against Xander Ferguson. 1 scrum, 1 penalty, and this is what we like to see. Five-minute goes straight to Franco Most, the line-out specialist. And the Moore's been a bit disrupted. We've got a penalty advantage there from Angus Gardner, so I reckon he's probably our best friend by now. And it's gone straight down. It's not going to come out. Penalty advantage. Ooh, Xander Ferguson getting a bit handsy. I don't know if it's that. I think it's Dwayne Vermeulen getting handsy with. Yeah, it is. I'm not sure I'll get handsy with Dwayne Vermeulen. I think there are a lot of people I'd probably choose to get handsy with before Dwayne Vermeulen. But I mean, hey, if you back yourself, don't you? So a penalty now. So interesting decision. Yeah, this is very much in the range, but we're going for the line. I like that. Right, Alton Yankees, where can he get us? He gets into the 22, about 5 yards out. Being a bit cautious, I think, is Alton Yankees. I mean, he's characteristically very, very good at finding touch. But obviously, you know, if you want to try and get to that, like right in the corner there, you do risk going a bit too far. So going a bit safe at the moment, but the Springboks are already inside the Scottish 22 within the opening 4 minutes. This is what we like to see. Right, this time Dwayne Vermeulen, which we saw doing a lot last week when it came to sort of lines inside the 22. Bongi Manambi controlling things at the back, but not really getting too much go forward ball. Starting to spin toward to the left there. The call comes to you. So Bongi Manambi will give us away to Hershey Young, who's under a lot of pressure, giving it to Damon Delendi. A bit of a standing start. But a very, very still going. Nice leg drive there from Damon Delendi. Now Hershey Young is looking towards the right, straight out to Sia Khaleesi, who comes inside. He's held up well by Richie. Hershey Yankees going to Eben Etzebeth. Got a bit of a run on him. Pretty well met in the tackle by Pierre Skuman. Now Herschel going to Oxen Chair. Chekhov Aditwe. Decent carry by him, supported by his partner, Lekanya. Alton Yankees goes himself, gets wrapped up. Hershey Yankees now goes to Eben Etzebeth once again. Getting a bit of a build-up. Now strong leg drive. They're trying to hold him up, but his knees on the floor, so they will have to release him. Good continuity here from the box, going to their 7th phase, straight to Kwaka Smith, who, as you'd imagine, gets some decent acceleration up. Right, now back to Eben Etzebeth. It's his fourth carry already so far today. Quick bit of Hershey Yankees straight to Damon Delendi. Almost sort of stopped as he went in. Now Herschel thinking about going back to the blind side. Goes to Alton Yankees. What will Alton Yankees do? Oh, he almost gets through himself. Quick ball there from Herschel straight to the Lekanya. A good defense so far from Scotland. So they've not making too many yards. Franco Most this time. Now to Alton Yankees. He goes to Villy LaRue. Villy LaRue joining the line. To Damon Delendi. He goes straight to Makazuma Mapimpi. Mapimpi inside. Skips the first tackle. Eventually brought down. He got away from Hanning, and there's a penalty advantage there from Angus Gardner. So this will be a penalty. 14th phase. They go straight to Alton Yankees. Alton Yankees thinks about the chip over the top, but no one was really going for it. So we'll go back for the penalty. There we go. There we go. It's a nice start there. Nice start. 13 phases from the South Africans. Then getting in the penalty advantage for not rolling. Angus Gardner's our best friend at the moment. And once again, a kickable opportunity turned down as Alton Yankees puts us into the corner. We want the maximum amount of points here. Right, sort of catch up a bit of the comments there. There's a nice opening play there. If you can't watch the match on DSTV now, you should be able to. The scrumming technique of the RGs was very good. It was called the Dodger. Shows confidence, scored early. Welcome, Gerard Oosthuizen, ladies and member to the Fair Sports Members Club. Thank you very much. Oh, and that's contested line by Scotland. They've actually turned it over. So all of a sudden, those kickable points maybe looked a little bit better, but I'll enjoy the confidence, to be honest. Now, Finn Russell boots straight down the middle, not looking for touch. Vililu and Maxwell and Pimpy are retreating. Vililu points into the sky. Doesn't go particularly fast, so Pimpy will be able to make this contestable, and it's knocked on there from Stuart Hogg. But Pimpy now cleaning up. So we've got a knock-on advantage here to the Springboks. Decent carry from a Pimpy as well. That's not a good early sign there from Stuart Hogg to knock that on. And taking out Herschel Yankees, so we'll go back for the scrum there. We'll take that. We'll take that. Frustrating not to get the try there. And that is the problem, I suppose. You want to be risky. They went up and just couldn't manage to take that as Franco Master. Characteristically, very solid at the line out. And you can see Stuart Hogg right underneath the sun. This ball goes straight through him. So I reckon we probably won the toss given the fact that they're playing into the sun, because hopefully that'll close up in the second half. Clint says Box need a knock on deliberately from scrum as tactic. These guys in the Scotland team will not make Springbok first team. Obviously, it's not the best attack I've ever seen. Brave choice to go for the line. I personally would have taken the 3. Yankees too slow getting the ball out is the early comments here. Well, we'll have to wait and see here. Didn't get too much clean ball there from the Rucks though. So probably need to add a little bit of a different element to the attack there. But we do have a scrum here, which last time we got a penalty. So hopefully we can see if we can get something out of here. Be a nice position for a penalty. That's gone down. But no penalty advantage yet from Gardner. Herschel Yankees trying to get the ball out there. Goes flat to Damon Dale Lindy, who runs straight at Finn Russell. Herschel Yankees now going to the boot. That's very deep, and that's in touch. That's a horrible, horrible kick from Herschel Yankees. So I think that Herschel Yankees wanted to make this a bit contestable. It's a bit of a strange kick, he's right in the corner of the sun there. So I think he wanted to try and put a pressure under there, but it's gone far too deep and just lands straight into touch. So that's a really poor mistake from Herschel. Right, so Scotland now with the line, an opportunity for them to get possession back on the ball. But Eben Etzebeth gets up and contests, and their winner drops back towards McAnally. And the ball runs out off the last player. What's the call here? We've got a knock-on and a line-out option, so I will take the scrum. Yeah, scrum, take it. I love it. I love it. So a bit of a messy 10 minutes. It's actually gone by quite quickly. Okay, Angus Gardner asking for a bit more height on the hit. Brandon says, get that brandy ready. Try time coming soon. I realized as I got home today, I got to buy the necessity. So unfortunately, I've got a Patron. What should we say? A shot for a try. How about that? Are we in agreement for that? Should we go with a shot of Patron for if we score a try? Was that? But no. Whoa! Buffalo rules not in play here. Do you mind? Okay, a bit of a messy scrum there, but we do have penalty advantage. Jesse Creel is trying to clean things up. First sort of carry for him. And another penalty. Thank you very much. I'll tell you what, I reckon Angus Gardner is he's probably just the best referee in the world, isn't he? He just doesn't do anything wrong. He just scores as he sees it. He's seeing the scrum dominance. He's seeing the wheeling. He's given us another penalty. He's just class. He is just class. Right, so Elton Yankees right up against touchline. Let's see where he can get us to. And it goes out just ahead of the 22. You can see, I mean, it's absolutely dominant from Retekho Vaditwe and Chair, who, if you have not followed on Twitter, get on it because he's absolutely brilliant on it. Right, another chance here. We'll probably go for the rolling more, I reckon. Ebenetibet goes up, brings it down. See, at least he goes early, though. Brings in Quacker Smith. Quacker Smith bounces off one tackle. He's still going as Quacker. Nice little variation attack there. Young's under a bit of pressure going to Ebenetibet, running a very, very nice line. Gets us into the 22. Quick ball here for Hershey Yankees. Goes to David Lendi. Goes himself. Now to Alton. Ooh, it looks like a bit of a high tackle almost. No, I think it was just below. Actually, fair. It looked like a fair tackle in the end there. Etzebeth with some nice momentum continuity here from the box, getting themselves further into the 22. But it's been ripped in the contact there, and Pierre Schoeman's come away with it. But Dwayne Vermeulen is all over that ball. Penalty, Dwayne Vermeulen. Thank you very much. Well, that's quite nice. So, I mean, it was decent. It was decent momentum there. Then the ball was ripped, and Pierre Schoeman comes away with it, and he fell in front of Dwayne Vermeulen, who, you know, like a little bit of a lamb chop on the bra, just snatched all over it. Said, thank you very much. Now, I imagine we go for the 3 points. Scotland have conceded 5 penalties so far. We haven't conceded a single one. I reckon we probably have to go for the point. No, we're going for the line. I love it. I love it. Well, the Springboks have got one thing on their mind. They've been told they're boring. And 6 penalties. I reckon that's about 4 non-kickable penalties that we haven't taken here. Kevin, so I'll drink the Lion stock. Angus the same class as Villy. What, just absolute goat status, basically. Manchester Trickle Scons all around. Fergus Ross for Billy Rub. Right, what's the chat here? Right on the 5 meter line now. Can we get a line? Can we get a rolling more? Can we get a try? Can we get out the scoreboard going here in the 14th minute? It's Franco Master. This time, no issues from him. Oh, that looked like an early shove. Not quite sure. He was convinced he was all the way down, though, when the shove came, but nothing from Angus Garner. Once comes the call. Oh, and the ball's popped up. And it's a knock on to the Springboks. I think it was ripped in the tackle, and then they came the knock on. It's all a little bit messy at the moment. So I think Bongi Manambi was complaining to the referee. He had something to say. Then he tried to pop it to Herschel, and Pierre Schoeman actually knocked it backwards. And then it was Richie, I think it was, who knocked it, or Haney, I think, who actually knocked it forward. So the result is a scrum for the Boks. It's actually a very nice position for attacking scrum. It's about halfway between the 22 and the 5 meter on the left-hand side, so plenty of space to work with. Now, this is where you want a penalty advantage, and you want Alton Yankees putting Amy Lendi into a gap. I mean, we haven't been in our own half though, so it's been some really, really good territory dominance here from the Boks. But we've got to kind of convert this into points. And so here come the Boker. I'll be a Boks with all the dominance. Don't know how to score. Yeah, let's see. Pretty solid scrum there this time from Scotland. Not really going anywhere, so we're gonna have to use this now. Alton Yankee standing right behind, but Dwayne Vermeulen goes himself. He's well wrapped up. Bit of messy there. Hershey Yankees now goes to Evan Etzebeth. Another carry from him. Rush defense there. Alton Yankees under a lot of pressure. But the ball is available there. The rush defense. Finn Russell now catching Hershey Yankees unaware. And it's been turned over by the Scots. So, and it's looked like it's just so messy. It's almost a knock on the ground there. But Scotland eventually have it. So, look, I think the Boks probably need to start taking the points at the moment because it's all getting very sloppy. Finn Russell goes wide to John van der Merwe. Let's try and get out of trouble. John van der Merwe is working through, though. John van der Merwe is away. Jesse Creel's chasing him in and brings him down right in front of a Pimpy. But it's good continuity from Scotland. And Dilly LaRouche can see the penalty. Not rolling is the call. Not And that's frustrating. Hey, I mean, 15 minutes of dominance inside their half and not being able to capitalize. Good pressure initially from Alton Yankton and Kwaka Smith, but Duran van der Merwe skips inside far too easily. Has the break. JC Creel eventually managed to chase him down. I mean, you got to think here. I think the penalty is against JC Creel for not rolling, but it would be a bit harsh if that was the call. And look, it's just inside the Bok half, and the first thing that jeepers, a lot inside the Bok half. How are we there? And Finn Russell's called for his point. So despite 15 minutes of dominance, it looks like Scotland will be actually the one who will open the scoring. So that's frustrating. You know, I mean, I like the positivity and the in trying to go for the scrum. But I reckon probably should have taken points eventually. It's nice to keep out the pressure, but says much rugby at the end of the day. But so I reckon probably next time when they would take the points. But yeah, Finn Russell's probably going to kick these 3 point over. So it actually could be first blood to Scotland, which is not what part of the plan. Stephen van der Space says, so the Boks are boring, but they must take their points. Boks with all the domination don't know how to score. Yeah, it was earlier. And that's straight down the middle from Finn Russell. So Scotland are the first ones to get the points going. Kevin, to be honest, out of Wales, England, Scotland is weakness, not their scrumming. Herschel's not ready for this. He's making errors, costing us his LB. Marginally says, bum. Right, so there we go. First points to Scotland. And frustrating. I think we just caught a little bit at rack time there. I mean, it was a really good counter attack. It was a nice tackle by JC Creel. He managed to reel him in. Right, so the restart from the Springboks going towards the right, trying to put it into the sun there. Finn Russell's got a bit of time. Not looking for touch, though. He goes pretty deep, straight down towards Villiers Leroux. Right, Dwayne Vermeulen is chasing the up and under. Finn Russell takes it well. He's under a lot of pressure from Dwayne Vermeulen. Gets all over him, but misses the jackal, unfortunately. Now the ball goes to pick up and go there from Sam Skinner. The Scotland inside their own half on by the 10-meter line. Now going back towards Ali Price, who will kick ahead. Ali Price lifts this. Duran van der Merwe is chasing hard. It'll be a tester for Villiers Leroux. He takes it well and gets away from Duran van der Merwe, actually. It's a nice take there from Villiers Leroux. Chaps, how is that a penalty? I mean, it is a penalty, but how have we allowed Jamie Ritchie to get all over that ball and still turn it over? I mean, there were 2 players there. Who was not racking here? I think Kwaka Smith's one of them. Villiers Leroux, it's a nice take from him. JC Creel is there. JC Creel, you've got, and then he falls down. JC Creel, you've got to rack him. I mean, how can, it was far too easy. All of a sudden, this could be 6-0 down simply because JC Creel couldn't clean up the man there. You can focus on Villiers Leroux, but Villiers Leroux is not at fault there. A decent catch out of the air there from him, but no support whatsoever. And all of a sudden, Scotland could be 6-0 up in 20 minutes. Messi Dave, our centers pulls in their wing. Jean says, can't understand why we threw 6 points away. Rux falling, he puts his hand on the ball. Mark says, that's what happens when your A team is on the bench. Oh, that's such a yawn comment. You have to be really, really new to us if you think that this whole... And he's missed it, just by the way. So it's not going to be 6-0. It'll be 3-0. So got away with that one there. But, yeah, frustrating from JC Creel because he had the time to try and clean the man, and then he loses his footing. But 3-0, 20 minutes, early days, so there's no need to panic just yet. But probably do need to take the points next time. But I mean, at the same time, I mean, you can't criticize. I mean, the Boks are always criticized for not being inventive, not going for tries, stuff like that. Then they don't score. There's a knock on from Scotland from the kickoff there from Alton Yankees, and nice contestable restart there. Villiers Leroux tripping himself. He sees so much space. But I think there was a double knock on there, so it'll be a scrum for the Springboks. Jan says, Jesse almost cost us last week. H. Creel not good enough. He's back on the water. Rasmus is back on the water, chaps. I think that's Don Human with him as well, by the way. Right, so Springbok scrum. Inside our own half, though. So that's a nice looking scrum. Couple of early pushes there from the box. And now here comes the dominance. Here comes the dominance. Keeping it there. There's the arm. Now use it, Hirsch. Use it, Hirsch. Gives it to Damien Delalendy, who gives it to Alton Yankees. Alton Yankees goes to Willie LaRue. Willie LaRue trying to get on the outside. Gives away from a Pimpy who's wrapped up. Not too much on at the moment. And Pimpy going himself gets up to the halfway line and loses the ball forward. Angus will go back for our penalty. Thank you very much. I mean, the scrums are just such a get. I mean, it's a bit of a cheat code, isn't it? It's like whenever we're under pressure, scrum, bam, thank you, we'll take a penalty. Yana says, is he allowed to? Well, from the looks of it, looks like it's back to 3 water boys. I saw 3 people with water bibs on. There's nothing in the laws to say you can't do it. I think it's your head coach can't be it, but he's not the head coach. So it is a bit of a workaround, but it's within the rules. He's got every right to do it if he wants to do it. Brandon says Creel playing centre. That's his best position. No, he's still out on the wing. Means the World Rugby saga is over now. No, they still haven't had a verdict. But until there is a verdict, you know, he can continue doing it. It's like he doesn't have a stadium ban or anything yet. And you're not suspended whilst the investigation carries on. Albie says, Mapimpi beat 2 with steps. Never seen him do that. Yeah, I know. It's a nice little, I can see what Billy was trying to do. He was trying to desperately get around the last defender to try and give Mapimpi a free run in. But he did get sort of reeled in. So it wasn't the best ball to Mapimpi. From a standing start, suddenly brought out the footwork. But it's around the 22 here for the box here. Khaleesi once again breaking himself. A little bit isolated, but Kwaka Smith is there to help out. Herschel Yankees going to Retshego Vaditwe and Chair. And it's a penalty advantage there. Yeah, I think, they've been going for it, but I wouldn't say there's been much release of it at the moment. And Angus Gardner saying, double blast the whistle, saying, just calm down a little bit. I want to have a word. Time off. Well, I'm actually going to catch up to time on the clock there, so... Yeah, hands past the ball, which is what people were talking about in the first one, but he's been called that now. Gardner just saying he could lose someone if the penalty continues. Now, Alton Yankees standing right there, and I reckon we'll pop this over, take the 3-pointer, and go back to the halfway line. We've had a lot of opportunity for nice yards. So Alton Yankees is waiting for his kicking tee. Bit of a talking to there to Stuart Hogg, who wants to have a bit of a talk with the rest. He hasn't had much to say, but Angus Gardner just saying there's far too many penalties creeping up, and he might lose one. But Richie immediately sort of making a bit of a nuisance of himself, and it's something we need to watch out for. There, penalised for going past the ball. And Alton Yankees, no issues there, just pops it over. How's the ground? Hope you're well. John says our scrums are mad. I'm sure the box scrum against runners in their practice session. Right, so we can get the timer back on. But yeah, 3-3 after 23 minutes. Alton Yankees there adding to his points tally for the box.
Into the air to claim the restart from Stuart Hogg, beautifully weighted coming down just outside.
Decent take there. And Herschel Yankees now going to the boot. But Pimpy chasing hard. It's a decent take this time. I'm trying to look at that. I think it was McLean. Ali Price putting him back there. So Alton Yankees retreating. It's a very nice way to kick from Ali Price, who finds touch in the 22. So it'll be a bit of a defensive line here for the box. Saw a little bit of space in between and diving pass. He saw the space out wide there and runs out there. It's a decent kick there from Ali Price, actually. Elton is a useless muppet. We pushed him for his inclusion in the starting team. Now he's playing nonsense slow rugby. What? He's had about 4 touches of the ball. Weird interpretation, but hey. Decent line up there to Franco Mostert. Now Dwayne Vermeulen. Creating a decent angle there. Now going to Oxen Chair. Gets towards still inside the 22, so still got the set to 22. Herschel Yankees goes to the boot. That's going to go. It's going to go out. He had to set the 22, so it's not too sad. I think he wants to keep that in and keep it contestable. So it'll be a Scottish line out inside, just inside the 10 meter, just past 10 meter. So yeah, I think Herschel wants to make the contestable. Just floated a little bit too far. Has had a bit of a struggle. Has struggled to start the game so far as Herschel. Decent line there from Scotland. Finn Russell giving some go forward ball to, I think it's Gilchrist. No, it's Haining. Now McInally. Ali Price going to the right, wrapping around. Also, it's terrible. And Herschel, just dive on it, mate. Come on, man. The ball coming loose. Herschel trying to kick it deep, and then just dive on it and just turn the possession over. Now Finn Russell's kick is charged down. I mean, Herschel just needs to dive on that ball. Just. They're taking it quickly there to Scotland off the chance. So they're inside their own half there. Gilchrist there, almost wrapped up by Sia Khaleesi. Now Finn Russell. Oh, that's fantastic. Oxen Chair has gone on Finn Russell and forced another knock-ons. 2 knock-ons. Oh, a little chip over the top there from Quagga Smith. And now Alton Yankees and Quagga Smith chasing hard. Rufus McLean trying to get away, but Quagga Smith almost managed to bring him down. He has a second go. Yeah, Franklin Master brings him down. Then he eventually runs to Sia Khaleesi. It's good work there by McLean. But decent pressure applied by Quagga Smith. Now the kick comes from Price. Doesn't find touch though. Straight on the throw to Villaroo. Chips over the top. That's well fielded there by Ali Price. Scotland with possession just outside their 22. Right, Ali Price eventually rises back, looking for the box kick. Probably go quite deep here. Well, he's got a couple of chases. No, in fact, he actually goes to Finn Russell. Now Finn Russell goes up. That's pretty high. It'll be contestable with Dwayne Vermeulen and Alton Yankees. It falls eventually to Damien Delendi, who does well and brings it down as well, so they have to release him. So Springboks have got possession back on the 10-meter line. They go to Evan Etzebeth. Ball over the top to Mapimpi, who does well to manage to take it. He steps inside, try and find a bit of space. Then goes to Alton Yankees. Not too much on, so he puts the ball in the air. Chaps, does anyone want to chase this or not? No one wants to chase that one. So Dion van der Merwe gets a free run. Ball in one hand, runs straight into Evan Etzebeth. Pierre Schoeman at first receiver. Thought about running the pass. Eventually gets it away. No, he keeps it himself, but it's turnover on the ground by Lekanya Such a messy game of rugby. Now Quagga Smith comes away with it. Under a lot of pressure. And Herschel now giving it to Villaroo. He gives it a decent take there from Damien Delendi. Runs the hands to Sia Khaleesi to Mapimpi. Mapimpi! Thank you very much. Try time, Springboks. Mapimpi is over. Makazolo, my man. Well, something out of nothing. A bit of broken play. They ran the hands there. Sucked it in by Sia Khaleesi. Straight to Mapimpi. Thank you very much. There's the try I've been waiting for. Really good transition play there from the Springboks. As I said, it was very, very messy. A lot of pressure under Quagga Smith, but Herschel Yankees choosing to actually take it quite quickly. Moving the ball quite wide, quite quickly. You can see Villaroo saw the space. Flat past David Dillon. It's a nice take by him. Pops to Khaleesi, who holds it. Probably gives it a little bit too early, but Pimpi's got so much pace, it doesn't really matter in the end. And he skips over, and thank you very much. Boxer on the board. Nah, it's fine. They're having a look at the pass, but there's no issues with it whatsoever. Yep, they're all happy with it, so the try will stand.
What a finish. Brilliant work from Villaroo, taking it to Lenny in the street. Gather the task from the captain, Khaleesi, as well. Finish sublime. Remember, Matt, I think Lekanya got the turnover from that breakdown.
Right, so Alton Yankees will line up the conversion. It's about 10 meters inside on the left-hand side, so doesn't favor him with the left-footed kicker. He'll probably want to start this, well, it depends, because he can bring it back. So you can either start this on the right and try and bring it back, or you'll start a post on the left and hope it comes back. Does go to the right, and it'll go past the right-hand side. Not his best effort. Right, 3 points to 8. By the half an hour mark there. Nicely worked try. As I said, it was a 2-on-1. I mean, as I said, McLean probably needs to be a bit further wide because Khaleesi actually releases it a little bit early. It doesn't really matter in the end there. He's already committed. And then Mapimpi's got so much pace. So much pace. Decent take there from Vermeulen off the kickoff. After a run-up. Straight into Richie. That's a nice try because there's a lot of small things about it. It was nice to get from Herschel to get the ball out of the rack nice and early. It was a good turnover earlier from the Kanya. Oh, charged down from Herschel Yankees, but one back by Eben Etzebeth, and he comes away to Mapimpi. He's actually got men outside if he can get the ball away. The ball does come away to Herschel Yankees, now wrapped up. A lot of pressure. Needs a bit of help here, does Herschel. Really Root filling in a scrum half, and he's caught in the ball. Piers Kuman goes to and pops back to out there. This is so messy. I mean, Willie Leroux just caught in the ball. That was actually really poor by him. I mean, there seems to be no awareness at the moment. Now, Xander Ferguson's going to put his head down, try and get things, but he runs straight into Oxen Chair. Solid tackle from him. And we'll go back to the knock-on from Willie Leroux. That's really poor. Really, really poor. And then Willie Leroux just completely caught on the ball. And Scott comes straight through. Piers Kuman, and jeepers. It's a really important tackle there. I think it's Jesse Creel that makes it. That is a very important tackle because if Matt Ferguson gets that ball away, they had numbers out wide. But Mapimpi's been everywhere at the moment, doing a bit of work in the inside there. It was poor from Willie Leroux there. And as I said, I think they had players on the left just. So if Matt Ferguson managed to get that ball away, I think it would have been on. But it's a very nice tackle. It's a very important tackle there from Jesse Creel. Now we will have a scrum. We need a big scrum here as well. Where are we at? Kevin says Scotland can't handle the power of the mighty Springboks. Monroe Scott says, I think a Blocker's going to win. Mark Jesus, they let him through their underwear. Sibulele says, Herschel top 5 scrum off, currently very underrated. I mean, he's struggled in the last game or two, but plenty of talent. Steve, you have to take a shot at your fancy. True. Try was basic hands, just shifting into the wing and scoring in the corner. Herschel costing us a game. Pimpy's an awesome player. John Fisher says, Pimpy is in great form. Rudolph says, are you going to comment the New Zealand Ireland game as well? I am. So are we doing that? Are we doing the in lieu of the brandy? I have to do a shot of Patron, which yes, it is quite fancy. I can't afford this stuff, but I think it was a 21st present, which means it's actually about 4 years old. But is that the chat? Are we generally doing a shot per try? Because it's a flipping massive shot glass I've got over here. We do a half shot. I was not going to make it to the next game. But yeah, big scrum here. It is a Scottish scrum, so it is an attacking opportunity for them. But our scrum has been very good. So, we'll need a nice big defensive effort here from the boys. Burns says, sorry, but Leroux and Herschel need to come off. Clint Lawrence says, need to pull Herschel off. He is out of form. Yeah, it's just looked a little bit slow today, which is strange for him. Been caught in the ball a couple of times, but the time that he did recycle it quite quickly, we went on to score. So, 6-1, half dozen to the other, I suppose. How's it, Lang? Says, do you think Delenda can do a draw and pass? Yeah. We need to score to go into the next game with loads of confidence. Are you only 25? I am only 25. Although these days I feel like I'm 25. Like there are some people who are only 25. I feel like I'm 25. So that's a big scrum. Oh, that's a huge scrum. They eventually managed to get out the back to Scotland, but that's a massive scrum. It goes to Scott. Gets it to the 22. Really good work there from the scrum time. So it wasn't exactly clean ball for Scotland. Solid tackle from Mostert on Gilchrist. Ali Price looking to go to the left. Finn Russell sees a bit of space. Goes for the kick pass. Julian van der Merwe throws it back inside to his captain, Stuart Hogg. Stuart Hogg goes back towards Finn Russell, who juggles and then gets it away to Scott. There's numbers out wide. The Kanya gets across to make the tackle on McLean. So they've actually lost a few meters there. Decent defense there from the box, or decent just awareness there. Finn Russell. Eventually going for the kick, for the cross kick once again. Doing front of this time running onto it, but off the line is Alton Yankees. Ball inside to Stuart Hogg. Oh, that looked a bit forward. Inside to Chris Harris, to Ali Price or Herschel. Stuart Hogg is over. We're going to have a look at this. We're going to have a look at this. I think we might be saved by a forward pass. But this is where Scotland thrive. There's just a little, and it's funny how Scotland often sort of thrive over their own mistakes. So it was quite an open passage of play because of a couple of poor kicks, and they're sort of scrambling in and around. But there was so much space that Finn Russell put in the cross kick once again. Julian van der Merwe did very well to sort of get it back inside towards Stuart Hogg, and very, very good support play. We're going to have a look at this, I reckon. And if there's not a forward pass, then this is going to be a very, very well worked try from Scotland. So you can see there's so much space. Thoughts about the pass, then he kicks it himself. See, inside ball there from Julian van der Merwe, inside ball there. It's that pass there. It's that pass there, which I think could save us. The pass from Sam Skinner. It's really good hands from Scotland, to be fair. The ball inside, but it's this pass. Yeah, I think that's going to be ruled out. Thankfully, I think that's going to be ruled out. And then shame, Herschel almost taps it down, but all he does is pop straight back up to Stuart Hogg. So we're going to have a look at that, but I think that pass from Skinner is going to save us. It's a nice play. This is Scotland, hey? This is the hands. The support play here from Stuart Hogg and Julian van der Merwe. Well, they reckon there's no forward pass. I want to have a look at that goal, that Sam Skinner pass. I think this is going to stand, you know. It's been awarded. I am not convinced about that Sam Skinner pass. They didn't even seem to look at it. I mean, I know it's direction of the hands, but I mean, from the top, it clearly went forward. So you do have to look at the direction of hands, but I'm not convinced. I thought it looked pretty forward. So I don't know, and they didn't really seem to look at it. It's just me. Well, Scotland are actually in the lead there with that conversion, but I'm not convinced about that, you know. It's good support play. Julian van der Merwe and Stuart Hogg, even after making their passes, stay with the play the entire time. But I really want to have a look at that Sam Skinner pass. But Springboks, I mean, that's just all from errors. Hey, the entire thing came from a scrum, from needlessly being caught on the ball by Willie le Roux. So it's sloppiness that's allowed them back into that. So 10 points to 8 with 35 minutes past. Decent chase there from JC Creel. Well, we'll have to go and see that. Try and see if we can look at that forward pass at half time. I must admit, my first impression was that it was forward, and I see a lot of people in the comments are agreeing. So we'll see that at half time. Dwayne Vermeulen underneath the high ball there from the kickoff. I mean, from the return there from Scotland. He eventually managed to get down, but Scotland all of a sudden playing with a little bit of wind in their sails. So I think that we need to just calm things down a little bit. And having said that, Herschel Yankees is now rolling the ball back for a cross kick. Up and under. Box kick was the word I was looking for. Jesse Creel and Eben Etzebeth are chasing quite hard. Eben Etzebeth wraps up. I think it's Scott. And it's high from Eben Etzebeth, so he's conceded a penalty. Not quite what we needed there, Eben. Stephen van der Space, catch a wake-up box. Kevin says, wow, a mistake forward. My gosh. Echo Ennis says, how? Grant Swart says, even UK commentators saying it was a forward pass. I think my biggest issue is they didn't really seem to look at it for very long. I mean, it's sort of like, yeah, it was kind of like, okay, our logo looks fine. We'll move. Francois van der stays and said, bring on Reinach, please. He should only play in the last 10 minutes. It's a decent kick there from Finn Russell. Right, all of a sudden, with 3 minutes to go, Springbok's a little bit under the pump here, as Scotland have kicked themselves into a very nice position, halfway between the 10-meter and the 22 on the left-hand side. The problem is that we can't afford this game to get open. Whilst we might have scored a try from there, that's decent pressure there from Vermeulen. So Ali Price retreating, doing van der Merwe, a bit of a standing start. Bumps off Alton first time, but eventually brings him down. Ali Price eventually goes to Pierre Schoeman for standing start. He's brought down by Eben Etzebeth. But they're back towards the halfway line. Now Finn Russell goes to the boot. It's quite deep. It was a bit of a... Oh, and Villiers let that bounce. Jesse Creel under a lot of pressure. Jesse Creel needs to get away from Chris Harris. He's wrapped up. You can't hit that bounce, chaps. And there's so much pressure coming here from Scotland. Desperately trying to get this ball back from Etzebeth. Sia Khaleesi and co eventually back. But there's a lot of pressure under here for the box. You can't let that bounce, chaps. Masters players. Oh my goodness, we're running about 22. Damien Lenny's got Mapimpi outside him. Mapimpi's going to cut back inside. I mean, when do you ever see the Springboks running from that 22? This is very uncharacteristic of us, but it almost worked. That Trevor Nyakane, we've barely seen him today in the open play. He's been good in the scrums, but barely seen him in open play. And chaps, with 2 minutes to go, let's just keep it tight, chaps. Let's not invite any unnecessary pressure on us either. Herschel goes up. Mapimpi's there to chase. And a knock on from Mapimpi, so it's a knock on advantage for Scotland. They've got numbers here. Skinner goes wide. Oh, it's a nice tackle there from Jesse Creel, but the ball goes away to Chris Harris, who's wrapped up by Lakanya falls in front of Damien Dalendy, who misses it. No, he's turned it over. Very nice turnover from Damien Dalendy. Now Villiers goes to Ebenezer, a standing start. There doesn't seem to be a lot of structure or sort of plan with our attack. We kind of just throwing the ball around. People are just like, hey, well, I'll take it up and you can take it up. There just doesn't seem to be much of a plan at the moment. Herschel Yankees goes to the boot. Jesse Creel's going to chase hard. And he wraps up Finn Russell. He gets the ball away to Grant Gilchrist. The ball comes back, though, so Duan van der Merwe cleans up. Gets to Stuart Hardquarter Smith up there trying to make a use of himself. Pass to a couple of little chicken wing passes there. But now Rufus McLean puts his head down. He's wrapped up by Mapimpi and runs straight into Franco Mostert. Back inside. Not a great pass there, which misses Finn Russell and goes to Sander Ferguson. Eben Etzebeth, they're all over that ball, though. Oh. Hands beyond the ball is the call. It was the same penalty earlier, so we'll have to have a look at that. Oh dear. I thought he went straight to the ball. I think he's straight on that ball. I don't think he's beyond the ball at all. I think he's on the money there. I think he's straight onto the ball. I think it's a very, very harsh call. Right, so Finn Russell, that's a very nice touch finder. So Scotland into, oh, here we go. Malcolm Marks onto the park. So the replacement front row comes on. I mean, it's always weird, this, hey? So we just changed the front row. That's a weird thing, hey? That's a strange thing for me to do this right on the brink. I thought Ox was pretty solid. Mongi and Trevor, though, were pretty absent. We didn't really see them. Look, the scrums were fantastic. So I suppose they did their job as far as that's concerned. But I always just find it strange to bring in the front row now for the last 30 seconds. Big lineup here. We have to compete. They go to the front, so we won't compete. It's been shifted. It looks like it's been pretty well contested, though. McAnally comes away himself. He's wrapped up by Kwaka Smith and Vincent Koch. And a penalty. Well, this is a big penalty because right in front of the poles on the brink of half time. So it looks like so, I mean, in terms of a substitution that isn't needed, Vincent Koch just come on and conceded the penalty. So Vincent Koch lands on the wrong side of the ball. I mean, he lands on the wrong side, but if you want 120 kg prop to roll away, I don't think you can physically do it faster than that. Malcolm Marks is all over that ball. Hey. Yeah, but I don't like that substitution, though, to be honest. I don't really like it. I thought that our front row was doing fine, and I don't think you make much of a difference in a minute and a half, because all they've done is technically come on and concede a penalty. But I do think it's a harsh call. I do think that Vincent Koch rolled away pretty quickly, so that's frustrating. Well, he's missed it. Yay! Thank you. Well, there we go. Get out of jail free. So whether it was just foul or not, Finn Russell has somehow managed to miss that kick. So we'll go into half time. 10 points to 8. This is the one with Finn Russell. You know, when he plays well, you'll cook. You'll cook. But that's a very poor miss from the Scottish fly half. That's a big get out of jail free card for the Springboks. Scotland look at staying on the field. But yeah, halftime score 10 points to 8. A weird half. A very weird half. Quite sloppy. And very much unstructured, you know, very open, which unfortunately will suit Scotland. A couple of calls towards the end there, which were a bit frustrating. I think that Etzebeth one was, I think he had every right to play the ball. I don't think he was beyond the ball at all. But I think penalty wise, I think much of a muchness. I mean, we had 5 penalties off the start. So yeah, look, we're not behind because of refereeing decisions. I think that Herschel and Billy Leroux have struggled a little bit so far in this game. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see those replacements pretty soon. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a France stain on the park quite quickly, as well as it was Reinach. But yeah, I think we just need to add a little bit more structure into the plan. You can't get sucked into Scotland being able to sort of dictate and make the game open, because the more open the game gets, the better Scotland become. They are a team that loves to play off the cuff. They love to have a bit of space to work with. So we can't let them have it. But yeah, take a small break when we go to the bathroom. In the meantime, I'm going to have a look at the action that is still to come later and some of the teams that are playing. And I'll see you guys in just a bit.
definitely it is. And there's quality in those individuals.
Right, so that's the action to follow, and all the teams and stuff that are playing. But the story over here is at halftime, 10 points to 8. The Boks trailing Scotland at halftime. Thankfully, Finn Russell missing that penalty right at the end, which is pretty much right in the pole. So a bit of a strange one for him to miss. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the analysis of that second try. I mean, well, the Scottish try, the second try of the match. Because I thought there was a forward pass in there, but apparently not. So I have a decent look at that. I think frustrating, and just, I mean, didn't really come back to bite us in the end there. But I think that Eben Etzebeth penalty was a bit harsh. I'm not sure I agree with replacing the front row with 20 seconds to go. I thought that was a bit strange decision. I didn't think he had done anything wrong either. But yeah, unfortunately, you know, two of the players who under a lot of pressure coming into the game, Vili Leroux and Herschel Yankees, struggling a little bit, not quite having their best game. Vili Leroux, both of them, in fact, have been caught a little bit on the ball and haven't quite been fast enough to keep up at times. So we'll need better performance from them second half. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting sort of thing. I mean, I think that Angus Gardner. I mean, we got 6 penalties in the first 10 minutes. So, you know, if you want to sit there and say that we're down because of the referee, but I want to have that forward pass. I want to have a look at that forward pass. I think that's frustrating. But yeah. So we're just having a look at the game now, and I think just in generally in terms of if the Springboks want to. If we need to win this game, obviously we want to win this game, but we need to ensure that it doesn't get too messy. It needs to be a bit more structured because the more space and the more open it gets, the more it starts to suit Scotland, and they do like to play off the cuff. So, you know, probably need to go back to sort of the strengths, you know, keep it nice and tight, use the set piece, earn the right to be a bit more expansive, earn the right to run the hands. You know, it's all very well trying to do it, but if you haven't earned the right, if you haven't got the build up to do it just yet, you know, you can't. But yeah, again, if you want to watch the game, check out the description. We've got the links and stuff like that needed for that. So you can go and check out how to watch the game there. But yeah, how are we feeling? I'm going through here. Grant Swart says we just need to slow the game down a bit. We seem to want to play at high speed for some reason. Why is Herschel so slow? She needs to go. Brilliant. Herschel time is up. They can't take messing up and keep their place. This was Rolande. Sorry, I said Roland Juster. Takola says, and why the hell do we always struggle to make our pressure count in points every time the coach needs to get into the players head up to intensity when we in the red zone? BC said they changed the front row just for half time to cause problem with the Scottish team chat at half time. Yeah. Jean says, so many split seconds does a player have to roll away in a ruck? Weird calls from the ref for the last 10 minutes there. Hopefully I'll get a wrench in time out these weirdos. I still don't know how that's not a forward pass. Should never have been a penalty against Eben and Marks. Totally a forward pass. Yeah. Come on, I want to see this try. I want to see what's going on there. Having a look at this Etzebeth thing, I definitely think he hits the ball there. I definitely think he had every right to play it. So I think that's a frustrating one. I also think that I thought that Vincent Cock had done quite well to roll away.
And the decision to change the front row. Well, the certain points in that front row was unbelievable. Why just before halftime? I don't know. But I mean,
see, even the panel's talking about, just no one understands this change in the front row just for half time. It's such a weird move.
For me, it's all about execution. You know, the Springboks game is all about that kicking game. But you need to be able to get up there so we can apply the pressure. If we keep giving those long passes, we need to be able to correct. And there's
Right. So Grass Watch, I can already see another video from TS Analytics. I mean, where he gets the laws wrong. I love that. Lineouts are not excellent. Yeah, I think execution has been the biggest problem. I think we haven't. Our lineouts haven't been great. Our maul hasn't been great. We haven't really. The stuff that we're really good at hasn't been fantastic. BC says Garden is well known for early whistleblowing. Bravestar says Alton can't kick. We'll have a look at Finn Russell. Billy has been playing squad rugby for a while now. Don't even Rusty big braids. Yeah, look, I mean, well, obviously you'll trust the decision to replace the front row. I just think it's a weird one. The depth will be a factor for both teams. We had 2 line opportunities to score and we missed both. Agreed. Kick chasers are very poor. Krill not running full out, poor chase. Yeah, look, there has been a couple of times where we've kicked ahead and the chase hasn't been good enough. John says Odwin and Conning and Ngani don't play. They don't, use the back line. Kai says I knew it would not be that easy. Is the All Blacks game after this? It is. Takora says the problem is you want to play rugby, but our scrum half is making bad decisions every time. Our fly doesn't get the distance or accuracy with the kicks. He hasn't kicked that much in play, to be honest. I think most of the up numbers have come from Herschel. I think Alston's probably put about 2 kicks ahead from open play. I pass it too long from halfback. Says, do you change Alton Polly and Herschel for purpose at the same time for desperately? I don't see. Or separately. I don't think you have to change at the same time. I'd be interested to see what they do with Pollard, whether they are going to place Alton or whether they want to look at that 10-12 combination, which, if the game gets open, could be a better idea. Also, Lingus says Colin can't possibly keep up this pace, and says Jean Dion looks says except the scrums. Yeah, look, the scrums were one way. They were one way. So that will always be our big sort of saving grace at the moment. And it does sometimes get us out of trouble, a lot of trouble. But yeah, I think I'd probably look at putting on Kurbis and France down quite early, and then having a go there. But we need our forwards to start actually coming to the party, because to be honest, I think if we're being brutally honest, aside from the scrums, we haven't had good going forward ball. We haven't had the chance to really sort of, even the up and unders, they've been under pressure. We're under pressure. We need to kick, or we don't have much on. We need to kick. It hasn't quite been It hasn't quite been a case of we've got decent structure. We've had a couple of phases. Now we're going to kick. It's almost like we've been kicking because we had no other option. So, yeah, I think we need to get that sorted. And so that if we do kick, we're kicking because we want to kick, not because we have to kick. Because we're going to kick regardless. But I want to be kicking because we're in the right space and we've got the position to do it, not because it's a case of, oh shit, we've got absolutely nothing on, so therefore we need to just kick it because that's the only thing we can do. So there's lots of things we can improve. At the end of the day, we're still in. I mean, it's 2-point game, so there's still plenty of time. Wales women are currently beating us 20.2 points to 7, so that's not good. I want to get some stats from this half. Where are we? That's last weekend. There we go. So Italy are down 6.17. Right, so we look at some of the stats. So we had 60% possession at halftime. We had 58% territory, 1 try apiece, 1 conversion to 0, 1 penalty apiece. Scotland have run 169 meters. We've run 110. They've beaten 13 defenders. We've beaten 12. I reckon that's probably mostly the pimps. 3 clean breaks to 1. We've had more gain line carries. Passes are much of a muchness. Offloads, they've had more. Kicks from hand, we've had 14. They've had 11. Tackles missed. Tackles is a bit concerning, isn't it? We've missed 13 of 33 tackles at a 61% percentage. They've missed 12 of 66. So we have made them work a lot more. Route success has been 100%. Line success, we've lost a line out there. But the scrums are very, very good. They conceded 7 penalties. We conceded 5. Yeah, so where we at? So Alton can't kick on the left side of the field. Musa Boss says Alton's doing all right. What is the possession territory? Must be heavily. Yeah, so we went through that. We have these to watch early engage. Wanted Yankees to start today, but he's been shit. I don't think he's been shit. I don't think he's had much to do. Jean Dinox says leave Alton on. Just take off Herschel. Stayed on thoughts. Yeah, I'd probably put him on. Obviously, Alton hasn't done anything wrong. I agree. What happened to the likes of Ambrose? Alton missed a penalty and a conversion. No, he didn't. He's just missed a conversion. So Finn Russell has missed a penalty and a conversion. Alton's the chap in the green shirt. He's a bit more tan than Finn Russell as well. Eben has been our best forward for us so far. Just needs to watch the high tackles, but I agree. Sideline kicks. Jeep Street, I says, I don't want Alton off. I was more assuming they will take him off at some point and where they will change both together. How good is our scrum? That's unbelievable. Jeeps Keeper says, find it funny. Scotland clearly targeted Billy at the restarts. They knew you would kick it out. They were attacking now close to our line. Yeah, I mean, it has been it's been quite a standard sort of tactic by a lot of teams to do that. Alton, good player, but not a reliable kicker. I mean, I think he operates at about 82% over his Springbok career, which is higher than Andre Pollard does. So, but yeah, don't let stats get in the way of a good story. Here we go. We've got kickoff. Alton Yankees gets things back underway. We go towards the right-hand side, right up against the touchline. Good chase there from Jesse Creel, who makes the tackle. Can we get away from this camera angle? Malcolm Marks, Eben Etzebeth is on there quite quickly, and we force the knock on all the penalty advantage. Oh, Kwaka Smith almost getting away there. Nice start here. Kubus Reinach is on, by the way. Vincent Koch. Now, yes, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying with platform. Kubus Reinach straight to Damon Delendi. There's so much space out wide. Oh, came back on the inside there, but there was space out wide. Kubus Reinach now going to Malcolm Marks. Alton Yankees floating around at the back there. He wants the ball. Right, he goes to Alton. He goes himself. And sealing off. So Vincent Koch has come on and conceded 2 penalties in the 2 minutes he's been on. So that's very frustrating. And it looked so much better. It was nice. It was a nice turnover early on. And we were looking positive. And then Vincent Koch has now dove straight over the ball there. Apparently. We'll have to have a look at this now. It was a nice kick chase there from Jesse Creel. Now Reynolds goes to Yankees, who steps inside. Yeah, so Vincent Koch kind of sort of slips and basically goes down to ground with Alton Yankees, which is then sealing off. So that's quite frustrating from him. It was looking positive. But yeah, Kubus Reinach is on, so that's an interesting early decision to make. Why is the time off? What are we looking at here, Stuart? It's risky message says Scotland better win because my money is on there. Nah, stuff you and your money. The general consensus, we're all glad that Herschel is on. Reinach is on. Yeah, it's an Australian penalty from Vincent Koch, unfortunately, because we had some decent momentum. Quick line out there from Scotland. They're not hanging around. Tackle comes in from Alton Yankees. It falls right in front of Damon Delendi, who had a go. Goes back to Stuart Hogg. He's going to bring out the torpedo. You don't see that too often these days. Mapimpi underneath it. Solid. Oh, looked a little bit. He's been good today, Mapimpi. What can he do? He ran straight into Haining, which he rides tackle well. Kubus Reinach goes back to Alton Yankees in the pocket. Alton Yankees goes up, and Jesse Creel will chase this. It's nice contestable. Get there, Jesse. That's it, Jesse. And it almost forced to Lakanya. John van der Merwe eventually coming away with it. And Kwaka Smith has ripped it in the tackle as well. Jesse, don't touch the ball. You're out. Well done, Kwaka. But you see what I was talking about in terms of we have yet to have a chance to actually kick it where we're in a decent position, where we feel like we've actually got momentum. Now they're running the hands there. Alton goes nice and flat to Damon Delendi. Delendi's put his head down. He's got Mapimpi outside him. Mapimpi's held on. Mapimpi is over. That is rugby, boys. That is the rugby we know. There it is from the Mapimps. That is nice rugby, by the way. And you talk about the kicking game, but as I said, the first time we've had a platform where Alton can go right. I've got my runner sorted. Boom. Up we go. Jesse Creel, brilliant chase. Kwaka Smith, boom. Rips the ball in the tackle. Thankfully, Jesse Creel doesn't touch because he's standing on the touchline. Lakanya Ang says, thank you. They run the hands. Really at first receiver. Alton Yankees, a nice floated pass out to Damien Delendi. He puts his head down. Keeps going. Eventually manages to get the offload off to Mapimpi, who's got the pace. But you can see really there to Alton Yankees. Alton Yankees, nice sort of flat pass to Damien Delendi. Takes it on the you see, and there's those small details there, the pace there as well. Oh, we're looking at the kick here. Oh, come on. I mean, that could have been Mapimpi's third try of the tour. Now he might not even have won if they try to rule this out. Try's good. Thank you very much. Oh, and he nailed it, by the way, I think. So Alton took it, by the way, and he slotted it, and then he said, No, you need to go check it. And now they've given it, and he said it's over. It's a nice, yeah, you see, I mean, that line from Damien Lindy, nice flat pass, which means he gets to go around the outside player. And that sucks in the two players, ball out to my pimps, straight over. You see, Box can play rugby. That is very nice rugby. From Villy LaRue, and to be fair, Villy LaRue, it's a nice, you know, he made, I mean, I reckon Villy LaRue took about 40 meters of that width there, because it was a long pass out to him, long pass out to our Yankees, nice pass to Damien Lindy. He does very, very well, sucking all the players. Very nice take there from a Pimpy, and 15 points to 10. Perfect start to the second half. That's what I like to see. Right, I'll tell you what, I'll do a shot of this cuck. It doesn't sound very good, does it? When something makes a pop like that. But we scored 2 tries, so we'll do a shot for you guys. I'll tell you what. I promised earlier. The clearance comes, goes out wide. Christ, this is the biggest shot glass in the flipping history of man. So Scotland are on the attack here. Finn Russell, quick defense there. Jesse Creel comes up, but the long pass goes out to Dylan van der Merwe. Villy LaRue's up quite quickly, wraps his legs up, so manages to keep them inside their own half. Now, early quick touch from Finn Russell, then puts the ball up. He sees a bit of space there from Villy LaRue, but it steps inside. And Villy LaRue goes and kicks himself and finds. That's not a bad touch finder, actually. That's about halfway between the 10 and the halfway. Yeah, my Pimpy's just been dead. He just can't do anything wrong at the moment. Okay, so there's no brandy. So I'll do this for you guys. I'm not going to enjoy this. It's also very warm. But cheers, chaps. Like coffee scent there. Right, so Scotland taking the line out, and they've gone towards the right. Decent defense though so far. That's sitting in the back of my throat. A bit of fire there. Now, rush defense. Looked a bit forward. Jamie Ritchie down the left. Oh, he's going to kick and go. There's nobody back, so Villy LaRue is retreating. A little bit isolated. Goes to the boot himself. Doesn't find touch, though, so straight down the throat of Finn Russell. Russell goes on the inside. The ball eventually goes back towards Stuart Hogg, but it's a bit messy. Stuart Hogg running laterally, trying to find a bit of space. Chris Harris now. Going to Haining. He's eventually brought down by Eben Etzebeth. So Scotland have got possession on the 10-meter line inside Box territory. Oh, it's a big hit on McInally by Stephen Kitsoff. Gilchrist trying to get some front foot ball there. Eben Etzebeth's coming quickly, and he's just targeted Finn Russell. Nice big tackle on him. You can see he lined up very quickly. Now, Ali Price going around there. He's turned Alton Yankees. And it's going to stay in. So him and Villy LaRue, they've got a bit of time. Goes back inside to Villy LaRue. And Villy LaRue will use that left boot once again. Finds touch towards the 10-meter line. It's decent play there by Scotland. Big hit on Etzebeth there. Yeah, it's the fly half life. Inside ball and just gets smacked by a lock. That's the life. So seemingly Lisa says, you wonder why the All Blacks is number one, because we are always in a queue on picking players that do not perform. We wonder why we always scramble to win games that could win comfortably. Musa says, please take off Villy, slow and unfit. Well, that's a first, but almost. Another quick line there from Scotland. That's a solid, actually. Finn Russell. It's all a bit of a pedestrian at the moment from Scotland. Dylan van der Merwe then puts his head down. McInally going himself. Lukaljan's quite quickly up there from the defense there. Mapimpi's up there and he wraps him up in the tackle. The ball eventually goes to McLean, but he's wrapped up again by Mapimpi. Up to the 10-meter line here, Scotland. Not really managing to find too much going forward. It's a decent carry from Xander Ferguson. Price is wrapped up by Khaleesi, and there's a knock on there. And David Lindy's ripped in the tackle as well. Very nice awareness there from the captain. Turnover is good there. And a penalty. Thank you very much. Good stuff, Sia, my boy. My guy. You can see Ali Price didn't really have too many options on Sia Khaleesi to get on them nice and quickly, forcing the knock on. It was then turned over by Damien Day Lindy. And then a lot of players, you see, that's really good. That desperate dive there from Sia Khaleesi, forcing the knock on. Then Damien Day Lindy turns it over. Very, very nice, chaps. Grant Swart says the UK commentator just said Pimpy has scored 2 succulent tries. Not sure I'm comfortable with that phrasing. I mean, these All Blacks went number 1 because they thrashed the USA. Albie says they're winning the aerial battle. Musa says Russell not a factor. Yeah, he's been a bit quiet, and long may that continue because when he turns it on, he turns it on. But anyway, cheers. I've had my shot for the 2 tries, so we'll just get back to the beer now, shall we? The Malcolm Marks goes to Dwayne Vermeulen. Good to see Malcolm Marks sorting out that throw into the line a little bit. This was a bit sketchy during 2019, but it looked very good this year. Malcolm Marks goes himself. Inside ball to Kobus Reinach. He goes to Alton Yankees. Sees a bit of space. Eventually gets brought down by Jamie Ritchie. Kobus Reinach now goes to Stephen Kitsoff. Gives it back to Reinach. He goes to the long pass out to Jesse Creel. He's got work to do. He goes inside. He runs straight into in front of Merva. Better from Creel, gets us into the 22. I think it's an advantage as well. Ooh, a little bit of a juggle from Vincent Koch. He's not at the best time since he's come on, actually. New advantage there as well. Kobus Reinach goes himself, sniping himself, almost through the gap. A little bit isolated. I'm not sure that was actually the right decision by Reinach. It's a bit frustrating. I know we had penalty advantage, but, I mean, he would have had to have really, really done well there to try and get through there. I think it would have been better to run the hands there. But it doesn't really matter because we've got a penalty. So if I'm here, I'm telling Alton to slot this. There's no bonus points or anything to worry about. Penalty only, seatbelt tackle right in front of the poles. Rusty enjoys it. We're going to take the 3 points here. Musabas Khaleesi is a monster tackle all day, up and go again. Eben has been amazing the last few games. Yeah, it's tackle on Alton Yankees actually from Richie. Braveheart looks so natural for Scots. Yeah, Stuart Hogg there with a bit of paint. Take the points. Creel's playing well. Jesse looks like he's on holiday. Well, that's interesting. I mean, that sums up that sums up YouTube, isn't it? Creel's playing well, and the next one is Jesse looks like he's on holiday. I think he's grown into the game actually as Jesse Creel. I thought in the first 20 minutes he was a bit absent, but very nice kick chase, which eventually created the try straight down the middle from Alton Yankees. 18 points to 10. West Bosses. Creel's looking better. Khaleesi, Alton, and Eben Food. Creel actually not playing bad on the wing for once. Yeah, as I said, I think Creel's actually grown into the game. They've restarted quickly of Scotland. Straight down the throat of Villaroo. That's actually a very nice kick from Villaroo. He finds touch. And some very good chasing. That's a brilliant kick from Villaroo. He's found touch inside Scottish territory, just ahead of the 10 meter. Now, there we go. Oh, well, speaking of players that are fun to watch, the Mish is being ready. Hamish Watson is getting out. Well, I suppose he's getting out of his kit, really. And will be joining onto the field very quickly, but very soon. 10 points to 18 at the moment, 51 minutes to go. One more try, you kind of feel would definitely sort of put the Springboks into the driver's seat. Seven for the space, as I predicted, box by 12. Come on, Bokker. So, Handing is off and Watson is on in the number 20 jersey. Looks like McLean is also off for Klingon. Mimi says, Reddick is like a staffy. Come on, boys, says Declan. Canterbury says, thanks for the commentary with love from Austria. Go, Bokker. Thank you for joining in. Fantastic video. Yeah, that's a very nice kick from Billy. So, Scotland inside their own territory with the line up there. They go to Skinner. And straight down at the bottom there. And actually, Franklin Mostard's actually started on the ground. Oh, that's frustrating. I mean, the ball was available, and Franklin Mostard had to go. He was told to release it. So they go back to Mapimpi. He's under a lot of pressure. Does well to get away from one. Now Hamish Watson's first contribution. Quacker Smith nice there at the breakdown. Kobus Reinach going back to Alton Yankees. He goes to the boot, lifting it high. It's very contestable. Jesse Creel's coming inside. Chris Harris is blocking him there, but John van der Merwe does take. Yeah, penalty for blocking as well. I love that. Yeah, I was about to say, Chris Harris just sort of moving into the line and obstructing Villaroo, getting a penalty there. See, it's amazing how in the last 10 minutes, things are starting to sort of, Alton and Villy are starting to grab this game and actually take a little bit of a little bit of a hold on the game. So there, really nice kick from the kickoff. Alton Yankees, very nice, incontestable up and under there. I was about to say, so Angus Gardner was busy explaining because it was weird because the ball landed in front of Franco Mostert, who grabbed the ball and they were about to pass it back. And apparently Angus Gardner said, it's fine, you can do that. And then they thought that he said, no, leave it. So they gave it back to Scotland. But it doesn't really matter in the end. We've got the penalty. Declan McGee says, he'll be playing so well. Yeah, definitely a candidate for man of the match. As Alton Yankees finds touch just ahead of the 22. Venia says 25-13 final score. Yeah, wouldn't be the worst. Wouldn't be the worst shout. Although I don't think Scotland will take too many penalties. Grant Swartz says Watson looks weird. This is Depp going to tell Rudolph and Dicky says, what do I get when I join the members club apart from what I have access now? So we start. We stream all the press conferences to the members live. That's an interesting variation. They went straight to Damien Delendi off the line and inside to Jesse Creel. Now quick ball to Malcolm Marks. Kitson now putting his head down. Now to Alton Yankees, goes flat to Damien Delendi. Delendi cutting inside. Nice drive from him. We're not going towards the left. It's a bit there. It's another carry from him. He's carried well today. Messy ball there from Chris Raddock and Malcolm Marks as well to just buy a bit of time. The ball skews off the side there and Van Vermeulen grabs it. I think it's a penalty advantage as well. So a bit of a free roll of the dice here. Raddock goes to Villileroux, pretty poor pass to Lakanya Villileroux wrapping around. Villileroux trying to get around there. Little chip back inside, comes off the Scottish player. We'll go back for the penalty. And if we can just take the 3 points now, that'll get us a nice 11-point lead. Guanswa Cecile looked like he wants to move us there. Why not starting? I don't know. Should be on in 60 minutes. Yeah, Finn not a factor because his runner's not going over the advantage line. Where's the yellow Angus promise? Yeah, it must be coming up. In terms of the members club, look, as we grow, we'll be able to offer more. But at the moment, we stream, for example, like the Springbok press conferences, we stream live. Well, obviously not on match day, but like the announcement, we stream live. You obviously get a little badge next to your name. When we do special videos, like for example, we did a Vince Tuka interview, and when we get the podcast going again, you'll get first access to that. It's mainly just supporting the channel, to be honest. As I said, as we grow more, we'll be able to offer more for the members club and for members. But at the moment, a lot of it's just people who want to support the channel. We really do appreciate it, though, because it really makes a big difference. So, yeah, as we wait for the decision for Sia to make, which I'm assuming he's going to go for the polls, please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Almost 1,000 people watching, so let's see if we can get that up to over 1,000. So share it. Yep, Alton Yankees will add the extra 3. No issues there. 29 points to 10. All looking pretty good for the box. Musabas says, how good is this Damien Delendi? Yeah, he's looked really good today as well. As I said, I don't know who you take off. I don't know what subs you make. Personally, I would actually take off Delendi or Lakanya and give Pollard a go at inside centre. Not even so much to keep Alton on, but I think Damien Delendi and Lakanya deserve a rest. And if you can score another try or you can get another penalty and get yourself in the driving seat, and you can give some, that's a bit of a short kick there from Villileroux and Scotland to take it quickly. They go back to, that's a nice tackle on, I think it was Ferguson. But Scotland on the attack. Hamish Watson now, his first carry of the day. Nice little ball flow off the ground there from Finn Russell. And it's a penalty for a high tackle. So there we go. Now, interesting decision. Lakanya with a high tackle there. Interesting decision to make here. There's a nice little offload off the ground there from Finn Russell. And then Ali Price, who's the Lakanya yeah, it just goes high. Please with the run. Oh my, it's so bad. It's really not that deep. It's a high tackle. It's a penalty. He'll live. He'll be fine. Send him to ICU if you have to, but he'll be fine. It's just a penalty. Seven space is 3 points now is very great. So yeah, the Scotland are going for the try here. They don't want the 3 points. They know that they need more. It says we really want to see Thomas Toy in the setup. The crowd has now been silenced. Why must subs be made if they play and keep them on? Well, you're always going to make subs. You're always going to make. You're always going to use your entire bench. Right, so they're going to go for the more here. It's a big drive initially there for Springboks, but it's very lateral, so you've got to be careful that it doesn't break away towards. They use it, so A Price. They're wrapping around there to German van der Merwe. Ball over the top. This will be a try. It's going to be a try. And Stuart Hargreaves got over in the corner far too easily. Game is not over. Scotland hit back. German van der Merwe, the maestro there, really. The ball was going nowhere, and they went wide, and there was just so much space that opened up. You don't have to really look at this to see who's lost a few runs, but it's the run from German van der Merwe which has come inside, but that's far too easy. I mean, it's Scotland at its best. That's what Scotland can do, but it's poor to concede a shot like that. So you can see, boom. Yeah, I see they just get it completely wrong, and there are far too many people chases. I mean, my Pimpy's nowhere near his wing. Yeah, you see, with two-man overlap, you had to make a tackle in the midfield there, and they just didn't. So, look, it's a good try. That's what Scotland can do. And all of a sudden, Scotland are back into it. Right, Finn Russell, who's kicked pretty poorly today. Let's see if he can slot this. The answer is no, he can't. That's bizarre. I mean, Finn Russell has missed 3 kicks all of a sudden. So the score remains 21 points to 15. Important for the Boks to score next. If it's a try or it's a penalty, important to score the next points. But you can see a couple of laser, boom, there. See that tackle there by Pippi. Probably needs to actually hit the ball there. And then German van der Merwe has the opportunity to pop the ball over the top. We're not desperately trying to get across, but you're never going to get across there, unfortunately. It's a nice try. It's a nice try. You have to give him credit where credit's due. It's a nice try. It's well worked, but a bit soft. Right, deep restart there from Alton Yankees. Chase comes in from Jesse Creel, but Ferguson's got time to come inside and create a bit of an angle. Now Lacagna's come screaming off his line, smashed Chris. I think it was Finn Russell, but their kick has come inside. So Villy Leroux. Now Pollard is on, by the way. I don't know for who, because I'm pretty sure Alton Yankees too. Oh, Pollard, what are you doing? He's taking it himself. He's under so much pressure. Jeez, like, I don't know how we've managed to keep that ball, because, yeah, he's just seen a penalty. Andre Pollard, what was that? What was that? And that's the second or third time he's done it this year. I think he has come on for Alton Yankees. And his first contribution is to go himself against about 3 Scots, get wrapped up, and concede a penalty. That is so poor. That is so poor. Oh, you just allow him straight back into the game. He had Villy Leroux on the inside of him. He's done this before as well. Oh, goodness me. We contested, and Franco Mostert has won that back. Well, flipping Andre Pollard, the beers are on you there for the Franco Mostert. That's horrendous. Okay, now you got to make a difference here. Good kick here needed from you. That's all right. It's by the 22. Right, Lutiago comes on. Probably on for Franco Mostert, I'd imagine. Yeah, Franco Mostert. Mostert was decent. I think he was a little bit quiet. But he's not particularly he's never going to be the most in-your-face player as Franco Mostert. Does all the hard yards. So it was a reasonable performance by him. One line out earlier, which wasn't great, but apart from that, I don't think he did too much wrong. Brown Perez says, why is Pollard there? Jean Deluxe says, rainfall from Pollard, why is Alton off? When did Pollard come on? Where stayed? So he came on just after the try, actually. Quite, I think Andre Pollard missed his wife. Yankees was playing well. Yeah, look, I don't think Alton did anything wrong today, actually. I'll tell you right now that that the player ratings won't rate Alton very highly, but I think it was fine. He missed 1 kick. Apart from that, it was pretty solid. But so Pollard now Oh, there we go. It's a horrible lineup from Scotland. And Vincent Koch has burst. Go, Vincent! Come on! That's a very nice carry from Vincent Koch. He needed that after conceding a couple of silly penalties. Now Reddock back to Pollard. Pollard goes to the boot. Jesse Creel will chase hard. And it bounces to Lekanya who's hands off doing front of Merva. He still goes Lekanya Kubas ran flat to Evan Etzebeth. That's a huge tackle, Etzebeth. No, don't try a flipping miracle offload. So they called the knock on, and Stuart Hogg was celebrating until they realized, until Angus got out to remind them that they had to commit to the knock on first. Fit advantage, I think Pollard playing 12 for his club is doing his decision making no favors. Master saved Pollard's backside there. Agree, could have brought Polly on for Damien de Allende. I would have liked to have seen that. Quite apart from anything else, Damien de Allende's played a lot of rugby this year. Whereas Pierre Dianti these days, I think still waiting on the results of his appeal or whatever the story is. But scrum time here. Let me make sure my time is right. It's a little bit ahead. So it's a Springbok scrum on the right-hand side. Here comes Frans Steyn. Vaughan says Janti was amazing. Yeah, look, he made rugby look very, very easy, didn't he? Raven Montgomery should have placed Pollard. Boo, come now. I don't know what you want me to say to that. just a weird comment. 9,145 subscribers. Let's see if we can get to 9,200 today. That'll be quite cool. Nice opportunity here. Taking opportunity for the box. Look, penalty will be first prize. It's gone straight down, so it's available for Rannoch at the end. Penalty advantage, though. Creel goes to Pollard. Pollard shot. Oh, that is a horrible pass. Jeez, like it. Right, so we'll go back for the penalty. It was a pretty horrible pass on Pollard. He wanted to throw the long one and just threw it very much along the floor. But after our stand is on, interesting to see who he's on for. Yeah, off of Villy. To be fair to Villy, I thought he had a much better second half. I thought that Villaroo grew into the game in the second half. He had a couple of nice kicks. He looked a lot better in that second half. And very important in that second try. So I think Villaroo wasn't his best game. But definitely not terrible. I actually think he wasn't too bad today. A couple of poor decisions in the first half. But overall, I'd say he was pretty average. Vincent Koch looks like Luke Shaw. Yeah, he does. He looks like Luke Shaw. If he ate Luke Shaw. Tianti could have been great. Tianti could still be great. I mean, even if he comes back now, he's about 27 years old, I think, or something like that. When he comes back. Richard Kovac says, me thinks that the Scots put whiskey in our water bottles. Pollard has completely forgot to play rugby. Well, here comes the kick from Pollard, and he's missed it. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. I mean, Finn Russell's missed 3. Alton missed 1. Now Pollard's just missed 1. So this is a bit strange because, I mean, for as far as we know, there's not much wind going on in the stadium. It's a pretty poor kick to miss that. Right, first touch to Frans Steyn, and he sent that about a kilometre into the air for Dwayne Vermeulen to chase, and Vermeulen knocks it back, and it's still available, and it's picked up by Lourt Diago. So the Springboks have regathered it. Kubas Reinhardt goes to the boot. That's so pointless. He's just going to mark that. I hate that. I hate that. That is frustrating. Kubas Reinhardt there. Had a little momentum. It's just chipped the strength to 22. Right, straight back to Frans Steyn. Let's see if we can bring up that 50-22. He does kick quite deep, but it's pretty straight down the throat of Stuart Hogg, who brings up the torpedo. Straight down the throat of Frans Steyn. We have a bit of a kicking battle here. Now Frans Steyn keeping it nice and low. And it's a penalty to Scotland. It would have been a 50-22, by the way, if it hadn't. I think he left it, but I think it's a penalty for not... oh, goodness me. Vincent Koch has conceded another penalty. He's not had a good game. I don't know what it is about him. He's just been nowhere today as Vincent. So obviously I wouldn't put a cheat bar in the team, though I know we could have done so previously. Let's stay and kick, please. Raymond says, thanks for the feed. I'm in Zambia, and so where's your small mind time? Appreciate your commentary. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much, for the sticker. I really do appreciate that. Says go France. Andy says at this rate, it's going to be interesting player selections when Corson is back. Oh, he's not back for another 9 months, so long time till we have to worry about that. But Pollard really is not playing good rugby at the moment. Well, it's a horrible line, and Vincent Koch has come away with it once again. So trying to redeem himself here is Vincent. Okay, it's available for Kubas Ranox. Well, 13 minutes to go. The box, I mean, that penalty would have made such a big difference. 24 points to 15. It's a whole different game. It's a 9-point lead. The 6 point is still within a try reach. So it's a little bit edgy. Xander Ferguson carrying it up there. Decent outing for him to be in the 67th minute. But somebody's gone in there and won a penalty. I don't know who it is. Stephen Kitsoff. Spicy plum, boys. He's so good over the ball, is Stephen Kitsoff. That's a very big penalty. Now, Pollard, can we just flip and get this one over, please? Tackle's made right in front of Stephen Kitsoff. He gets over that. Hamish Watson and somebody is trying to clear him off. But, I mean, come on. Kitsoff with those thighs, with that hair. You're not moving him, mate. You're not moving him. So Ollie Cable's looking to come on. The former Stormers is a prop. So Andre Pollard will be the man to take this kick. Interesting to see. I said I wouldn't have been surprised if it was given to France, but there's a lot of people calling, but he hasn't. And from straight on the middle, well, there we go. Well done, Pollard. Good stuff, Andre. There we go. Well, straight in front and it goes straight down the middle. There we go. 24 points to 15. That's a nice. Give the kick to France. Stephen Van der Spey. Pollard. This is not how World Champs should be playing. Give the ball to France, please. Help for Pollard. Reload says that's 2 lines calling to. Thank you. Yes, yeah. No, I could definitely get a couple of the court to that one. So I really do appreciate that. Renock goes to Luatiaga. Decent off the kickoff there from the Kanya. Now it's 12 minutes left. It's just a case of seeing the game out here, chaps. As Grant says, a spicy plum special. Right, I'm gonna put in the link for the player ratings, which we'll be doing immediately after this game. Ollie Cable, former South African born prop here. And a penalty for the Springboks. And guess who? He'll be coming around the mountain, Malcolm Marx. He'll be coming around the mountain, Malcolm Marx. He'll be coming around the mountain. Yeah, Malcolm Marx with the turnover there. I mean, in terms of being good over the ball. And France Stain says, yeah, listen, chaps, we're on the halfway line here. Give me the ball. Let me just slot this. Let me take it and go have our oranges and have a couple of beers. Yeah, I mean, Malcolm Marx, immense over the ground, and France Stain will now have a chance to really try and put this game to bed. I mean, I don't understand people who have got this big thing that Malcolm Marx has to start. Why does he need to start? Malcolm Marx gets 40 minutes every single game. Bongi Benami gets 40 minutes every single game. Look at what Malcolm Marx does towards the last stages of the game. And in the initial stage, when you want to keep it tight, you've got the most reliable line-up specialist in Bongi Benami. It's such a nice combination. It is so good to have. I don't understand why people sit there saying Malcolm Marx has to start. Why must he start when he can do stuff like that in the 70th minute? It's so good. It is such a big weapon. Speaking of weapons, the weapon of Francois Stain's boot has booted us into a 17-point lead at Murrayfield, looking good. I'm just so relaxed. I mean, when was the last time we did a watch-along? We were just relaxed and we're feeling pretty good about this. 10 minutes to go, 17 points. You don't need more than 2 tries. We're chilling now. We're chilling. Java Guru says, Paul needs to go to play a club rugby for a while to get a skill back. Kits off as a brick shit house, says Mark Julian Lee. Shut down the middle once again, but this time France Stain is there. Good stuff off the kickoff. Albie says, Marx is a freak. Tata says, Ultim was playing well and was replaced by a player who's horribly out of form. Clearly, the coach favors Pollard over other players, which is terrible. Well, I suppose if you're not in form, you need to play a little bit to try and get back into form. So there is also that counter argument. But yeah, he's just not having a great time at the moment. But I've heard rumors that that's right up against the touchline. Scott, yeah, and he's managed to keep it out. Good stuff there from Sia Khaleesi. Almost managed to keep it in there. So Chris Harris, nice players. Chris Harris hasn't had a good game today, but yeah. So it will be a lineup for the box. Yana says yes, justify Pollard's huge salary. Sponsors expect him to play. Albie says I said 36-16. Just remembered. Well, yeah. I mean, if we get another try too, it could be another try and a penalty. Then we could be in there. 12 points. Yeah, it's 12 points. Yeah, chaps. You saw me take the shot, Chid. Do you mind? I'm busy. I'm well on the way here. But yeah, it's 12 points. Johannes also says I'm close. I said 28-20. Decent shot. France Dane's game is really enigmatic. Bring out all the words. Yeah, I like that word, though. Enigmatic. Right. Kobus Reinach from the base of the ruck goes ahead. Mapimpi is chasing hard. I think Mapimpi is probably going to have to be. Mapimpi has to be man of the match. I mean, two abrasive tries there. Well, I mean, what more do you want from the man? Anyway, Scotland have got the ball inside their own half. Sorry, the rumor I heard is that Pollard could very well be on his way to the English Premiership, and it looks like he could be going to Sale Sharks. There was a bit of a rumor floating around this week. Well, it's a nice little offload from Batty to Ollie Cable. But Malcolm Marks was all over that ball. Been told to leave it, unfortunately. Ferguson now, training from here and getting a bit of a mouthful of glot. I mean, Jasper Wiese was all set to come on and still isn't on the park. So I think he's only about 7 minutes decently. Oh, and Pollard caught the ball. We read it quite well and then was caught in the ball there. And it's been turned over. I mean, turnover good there. Now, Finn Russell, I mean, it won't be a 50-22, but he's pinned France staying back under a lot of pressure, which is exactly, that's a very nice kick from Finn Russell. And he says, wonder if there's any truth to the Sharks merging with the Japanese club to bring back some SA players. Would be interesting. Is Pollard not the highest paid player in the box team? I think Chesney Colby's just eclipsed it. Well, I think he at least matched him. Richard Corver says, what does Victor retire? Thought he was not being selected. Which Victor are we on about now? Tato says Pollard needs to play more at club level to find form and not cost international games. Yeah, it's a nice kick there. A bit of a defensive line here for Malcolm Marks to operate. Decent line there from Muir, now carrying up into contact. Kobus Reinach slowing things down a little bit. Take a few steps back to create a bit of an angle, and then goes to the boot, and he finds a decent touch find. And Jasper Wiese will eventually come onto the park. I'd probably put him on for Dre from Maryland, to be honest. Or if Circulis is tired or whatever. But Jasper Wiese is on. I don't know who on for. Gets 6 minutes. Yeah, it's for Dwayne. Dwayne looked a little bit tired. He's an old man, a little bit of a baddie these days. Tertius Fujui says, hi there, my first time on your channel. Really enjoy your commentary. Thanks a lot. Well, thank you for joining. Please make sure you subscribe. Messy lineup there. Hastings trying to sort of clean up a little bit there. Our clock is slightly ahead. We are actually at 74 minutes and 50, so we're on 75 minutes now, so it's 30 seconds ahead. Good stuff there from Damon Lindy. Oh, and that's a pretty poor pass there from Finn Russell, pinning McLean all the way back in his 22, trying to get himself out there. Ball in size, going to no one. It's all very sloppy. Hamish Watson has now knocked it on, I think. And Quacker Smith putting a lot of pressure on them as well. So it will be a scrum for the box, right in the 5. And that's just being tired, to be honest. That's just pure exhaustion. This is the thing, though. The pace that Scotland were playing, it was very impressive. But the longer this game's gone on, the more that the South Africans have grown into it. And that's just fatigue coming in. You can see a sloppy pass. It was good defensive read there by Dale Indy. Then a couple of 50-50 passes that runs ahead. McLean was doing quite well to get away from the thing, but then threw a pretty poor pass and a lot of pressure. I think it's Hamish Watson in the end who actually knocks it on you. So all of a sudden, Box have got a scrum just ahead of the halfway between the 22 and the 5 meter, and you can see all the hands in the head from the Scotland coaching staff. And this is a very nice position for an attacking scrum here. Dwayne is a topic like me, 1K viewers. Yeah, we're up to there. Thank you very much to everybody who's jumped on. Albie says go for penalty try for scrum. On comes Stephen Twin. Careful, careful. I mean, I suppose there's worse people to be compared to than Jasper Wiese. The most coming, we'll get there. We're what, like 12 days? In fact, it's a couple of days afterwards because I had a wedding. I couldn't have this on for. But we'll get there. Lambie drop kicks. Janis Osterloo. The Springboks defense is so good, says Huntley. Scotland scared. That's a big scrum. Penalty advantage. And it's popped straight into Hamish Watson. So we'll have a scrum. Call for the scrum. Call for the scrum. Jasper, I have medical aid fees. That kills me. Dear. Shot. Boo! Boo! We have a shot in goal. Boo! Boo! Take the scrum. Come on, man. Don't be so boring. Imagine scoring 3 tries. 3 tries. And then we'll be like, the boring Springboks scored 3 tries. Jacques, take this. I mean, you want to take the points in the first half. Now that we've got a 12-point advantage with 3 minutes to go, we're not taking the points. Well, we are taking the points. Come on, man. Anyway, Pollard, well, you should get this. I mean, if you can't, maybe this is a confidence booster. Quai says, how did the Boss get back to number 1? Is it a points differential? I'm not entirely sure on the calculations. Well, you slotted it. So 30 points to 15. 2.5 minutes to 2 minutes and 15 seconds to go. So the game is in the bag. Much more comfortable than the couple of other games we've had. Well, Scotland have actually won the ball back off the kickoff. I don't know who was at fault there, but Scotland have won the ball, and they've got I think it's so I think it's a knock-on advantage. So the advantage is over. There are so many Scottish players out wide. Here comes the scramble defense. Stuart Hogg has put his head down, and Jasper Wiese is running to him. Good stuff there. And you cut your arms all over that ball, but it's available. Hastings. Oh, that's a huge tackle. He's run straight into Luatiaga. Eesh. Now Hamish Watson's run straight into him. Kicks off, bounces off him, goes to Eben Etzebeth. And Malcolm Marks is all over that ball. And he's turned over. I mean, he is so class. I mean, if I said Malcolm Marks was a candidate for SA Player of the Year, is that a big statement? Is that an unpopular opinion? Jasper Wiese throwing it straight back to Finn Russell. Jeepers, chaps.
Also, you got to mention Makazori, my favorite. Also, you got to mention him. Damien Delay, DC, and Police, they just week after week, these players to a man. Producing the goods.
Well, there we go. Scrum over here in the last couple of seconds after a bit of a. So, I mean, this is just wind the clock down and then go for it. Yeah, so we're going to be live in about 10 minutes for the player rating show. It'll be a quick one, just 15 minutes. So I'm gonna share the link in the description now in the comments. There's the link for the player ratings. You can go and start voting. Oh no, hang on, don't start voting for them yet. I need to actually reset them. Oh dear. Yeah, Eben Etzebeth will tap into touch. Well, there we go. Job done. Job done. Very, very nice. Very nice. From the box there. It took a while to get things going. A bit of a sketchy first half, but once the momentum started shifting, it was very impressive. Job done. 15 points. Very impressive stuff there. A couple of nice performances as well. So good to see. Good to see. And yeah, so I'm going to lock off now, do a quick review, and we'll see you guys at the player ratings. This will take you immediately to the player ratings, so you don't have to actually go anywhere. You can go and start voting on the player ratings as well. And then, yeah, I'll see you guys in a little bit. We'll do the player ratings, and then we'll go live for Ireland versus New Zealand. So it's all going to be a bit busy, but it'll hopefully be a lot of fun. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please do smash like on the way out. Subscribe to the channel as well. 9,160. I want to try and push for 9,200 this today. So keep hitting that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in a little bit.